Hello, folks. It's the Tuesday night marathon at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club, round 2 of the Max Wilkerson Tuesday night marathon. I'm here, FIDE Master, your host, I guess. I never call myself the host.
You're the host.
But now I'm going to call myself the host.
I'm color.
FIDE Master.
You're play-by-play.
Paul Whitehead, chess. FIDE Master Paul Whitehead, and this is FIDE Master James Eade. He's with me again for the maybe the 6th or 7th time.
Yeah, I've lost count.
I've lost count, but always welcome. Start off, the games are in progress, have been in progress for a half an hour. We're going to look at those in a minute. Hello, everybody out there. And I'm just going to ask you, Jim, about Max Wilkerson.
Oh, sure. I'd love to talk about Max. This particular marathon is named after Max. It's the Wilkerson Memorial Tournament. And
I think he passed away in maybe 2001, I think.
You could be right. I wouldn't hazard a guess as to when actually he did.
Okay.
But he was an institution at this institution. He was here for 30 years, roughly. I might be wrong, plus or minus a couple of years. But, you know, he was always here. And the thing I remember about Max was his generosity. He was a very, you know, as a person, he could come across as fairly stern, but behind that sternness was a heart of gold. And there were many chess players that were on hard times. And Max was always there to give a helping hand. If it was some cash that somebody needed at some point, it was a place that they needed to stay, someplace to crash for a little while before they get their feet on the ground, Max was always there.
I've heard that about Max.
Yeah.
I've heard very great stories about Max.
Yes. That is the one thing that I would say when I think about Max, that's the first thing I think about. And the other thing is when we were running tournaments like the Pan-Pacific tournaments, the Grandmaster Invitationals, Max would never hesitate. He was always there to do whatever you needed to get done. He could do it. So he was, you know, a constant presence in the Mechanics Institute, and he was a constant support to chess players. And I have the highest esteem. It was my honor to replace him as the director when he retired, as the chess room director, and I just kept the seat warm until John Donaldson took over. But John had 20 years, Max, yeah, I'm going to say 30.
I don't think Max was director for 30 years.
No, maybe not.
No, I think he was,
it was after Addison?
13 years, maybe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But he was around the mechanics.
After Addison was Ray Conway.
Oh, you're right.
And Ray Conway was the director when I joined, and a lot of players of my generation remember Ray Conway. They called him Two Gun.
Yeah, he was before my time, but I have heard Ray Conway's stories.
Right, Ray Conway. So Ray Conway was the director at the Mechanics Institute when the Fisher boom hit.
Yes.
And in fact, he started the Tuesday night tournament, marathon tournaments.
I see.
12 rounds each. They were 12 rounds, and there were 2 of them in 1972. I played in the second one. The second marathon.
So 1972 was the beginning of the
series of this tournament now.
That is still going
which
on.
It's 2020.
2020.
Reincarnation.
The calendar turned again.
Reincarnation. And so, yeah, it's an incredible tournament. This one is 7 rounds. It started out as a 12-rounder. This year we're having 6 of them, 6 TNMs. And this one is the first of the year, and 7 rounds. Yeah, the new format.
Well, I believe that Max was the director when I moved here in California in '79.
That sounds right. I think.
So so he had it right up until mid-90s.
Yeah, I wish I had that piece of paper that told me the exact dates of the directors.
Yes.
But I don't.
We don't. But in any case, he was here for a long time, and he was a constant presence and resource for the mechanics.
I want to say there's another director of the Mechanics Institute who's not here right now, and he's watching from home, and that's Abel Tolamentis.
Hi, Abel.
Hi, Abel. We've got you covered here, and
we're going to try to make you proud of us.
We're going to try to make you proud of us. That's right. And if, we'll start off, I guess, by going straight to the games, unless you've got any other Max Wilkerson stories.
No, none that I would share.
We've got all evening. We've got all evening. So you can, so this is round 2 of the Tuesday night marathon. We have the tournament's divided into 3 sections. There's the open section, which is really actually, it's the master expert section, and A players can play into it. We have the the AB section, and then we have a 3rd section, which is the under 1600 section, and there's over 100 players playing in the tournament.
It's amazing.
You can see above Jim and I, there's a part of the tournament hall. We're looking at the top 2 boards closest to us. Ivanov with his back to us, playing Hosea Stearman on board 1, and on board 2, I think we have Michael Walder deep in thought in his game with Kyron Griffiths. So let's get to it.
Let the games begin.
There's another room as well, which you can't, has many chess boards set up in it. It's called the meeting room here at the Mechanics Institute on the 4th floor, 57 Post Street, downtown San Francisco. In case you're watching from Finland or from New Zealand.
Post and Market.
Post and Market. Come and visit us. And look us up, chessclub.org.
Great domain name. Whoever thought of that?
I think that was Joan Arbel. Yeah.
Shout out to Joan.
Shout out to Joan Arbel, also who I think I've yet to meet, and I'm looking forward to her coming down to the club one day and meeting her.
I hope she does.
So, and my involvement with the club, you've been the director of the club, but my involvement with the club is, for anybody who's interested, I joined the club in 1972 when I was 12 years old. I was one of those Fisher boomers, I guess you could say, and the Mechanics Chess Club has been a part of my life since 1972. I haven't always worked here. There's been years when I've even not come here, but I'm privileged to be working here now, that's for sure. And so without further ado, let's take a look at Ivanov Stearman. I'm going to go do what I usually do,
start from the beginning,
and then go through the game here, so we get a sense of continuity. Ivanov is a player who I don't think has ever cracked master. Maybe he has, but I'm not sure if he has or not. He's a strong player. He beat me in a few years ago in a tournament here, which still smarts. I was having a great tournament. I played him in the last round and just didn't show up. So, but
and you
Stearman,
remember that very well.
Stearman is still is definitely the favorite here, outrating Ivanov by several hundred points.
This is the classical Nimzo Indian.
Right, and we're getting this pawn structure that Nimzovich would have loved with black.
Aaron Nimzovich loved this position.
And Fischer, famous game, Fischer and Spassky, not exactly maybe from this position, but similar. And this, for all I know, this is book, and this is the problem with me in these queen pawn openings. Sometimes I'm not sure how far we are in book, but let's just keep going. The players' moves look reasonable to me.
Yeah.
So
I would like to point out that White has the 2 bishops, but you look at the center pawn structure, and it's closed. So the bishops like free reigning positions, and they're not as happy in closed positions. And you can see the pawns in the center on the white squares making the white squared bishop relatively unhappy.
Is that a white
unproductive.
squared bishop? I thought it was actually a pawn on d3.
Yes, it does. It
All
looks
right,
like
well,
a big pawn to me. Yeah.
Okay, that's chess humor for you folks back home.
An attempt
All right,
at it.
Attempt at chess, sorry. Knight takes g6, and I think white's doing the right thing here by trying
Yes.
to open the game up.
Correct.
I mean, absolutely. On the other hand, this is if we have a position where white can play pawn takes d6. Well, let's see what happens here. Happy New Year. Black is thinking. So normally, there's two ways that black tries to handle these positions. One is to let white take on e5 and then play the knight back to e8 and
blockade.
d6. And that's what I think Fischer did in his game with Spot. That was similar, I think, or it's just one of the ideas here.
And that was very Nimzovician strategy.
The other is to
blockade.
take on f4 and then use the e5 square to pivot your pieces around. But white's, if e takes f4, bishop f4, you can't play knight d7
No.
because of
Pawn hanging on d6.
because pawn hanging on d6. Somebody's remembering good battles, E versus Dorsch. And actually it says ease, but I think it's, was it an easy victory?
I don't know. Tom and I did have quite a few battles.
Okay, oh yeah, Tom Dorsch, I would love to see Tom Dorsch again.
Me too.
I really enjoy, that guy was a great friend to me when, back here, when I was traveling around playing chess tournaments in my teenage years.
I bet he was. He was a
And-
great friend to a lot of chess players.
Yeah, and I would really like to see Tom again. I hear he's settled in the Midwest somewhere,
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Yes, his mom used to live there. When she passed away, he went back to live in the old family home. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And he was a USCF, worked for the USCF for a while, right?
Well, he
Or-
didn't work for them as an employee, but he was on the executive board.
Okay.
And
All right. Okay.
he was the treasurer.
Okay. What a great situation to be in.
Yes.
I'm just- in
yes,
any organization.
Yeah. That's what, even in a chess club, you wanted to be the treasurer, because if
Gotcha.
people were paying you, and also when you're playing a simul, the guy never beats the treasurer.
Right. I noticed that Jules Jelinek, who's a local master here, he puts on a blitz tournament here
Yeah.
on Wednesday nights, and John Donaldson has shown up for it, and it's an interesting little tournament.
Yes.
It's really raucous.
I used to play in a lot of them.
It's
Jules
raucous.
has been running those for a long time.
It's raucous, and Jules will laugh at you while he's beating you, which is which will rattle even a very strong player. You know, so anyway.
Yeah, he's a systems guy. When you get into one of his systems, he knows how it's going to end before you do.
His system is to mock you while he beats you. That's one of his systems. Anyway, I forgot my point.
Oh, but I forgot it too, so I'm sorry.
But,
he just took on f4.
okay.
That's very interesting. So he's going to use your strategy of using the e5 square.
Maybe bishop f4, knight g4, and then play into e5.
That's another possibility. Or rook e8. And
Rook
then
e8 might
debut it.
leave bishop g5 open, although that's possible too, I imagine.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, maybe you're right that knight h5 would be preferable first.
Yeah, maybe even knight h5 after bishop f4. So
Yeah,
this black has
yeah.
some things to think about here. Rico
Interesting.
Atkins, hey, hello to you too, sir. Come on back onto the broadcast, Rico. And
Hello,
say
Rico.
hi. Rico is the guy doing
Chess yoga?
Chess and yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
I've
that's-
never connected with him.
That's terrific. I'm really into that concept.
And hello, Rocky Mountain Chess. I'm not sure you're from the Rocky Mountains, and yeah, you're watching a great tournament at the Great Mechanics This is all good. Thank you, folks.
Okay.
Knight G4 is played.
Yep.
I'm not going to spend much time here. I'm going to move on to board 3, to board 2 rather. We've
Okay.
spent a lot of time on board 1. This is another strong player, 2 strong players. Michael Walger, who's held the master, he's been over 2,400, I think.
Really?
Way back in the day.
Well, I've seen some pretty interesting chess by Michael Walter.
And he's got a good score against some really strong players. And he's gotten back into chess.
Okay,
Let's
we
see
have
how
got
this
to go
game-
back here.
Yeah, we're going to go take a look
I'm not sure how that position arrived.
We've got this Sicilian Najdorf with Queen E2.
Interesting move.
Okay, of the 20 million moves that White has
I'm
at
out
his
of book.
disposal.
Full disclosure. Full disclosure, I don't know this opening anymore.
E5, Knight F5. Well, the modern thing is White plays sort of slowly and battles for the D5 square.
Yeah,
He's no longer
thematic,
trying to just crush the Najdorf right out of the box.
Right.
So there's these sort of positional games, and this is a strategy, a consistent strategy involved in that. And Michael just takes the bull straight by the horns.
That does seem thematic.
And White now goes for the lead in development trump that he has, or
Activate your pieces.
Get your pieces out fast. Tactics are predominating here a little bit. D4, and again, very sharp. And this is like I said, this may be book.
Because if they used, we can't tell how much time they've used. I'm wondering if they're banging out these.
We can.
Oh, okay.
It's right
so
here. Although the clocks have stopped because the moves are still being played here.
Okay.
But this is White.
That looks very forcing, but
White
Bishop
takes
takes
on
F6
F6
is kind of forced.
Takes, and then Queen C4. We were looking at this earlier, and we didn't look at Queen C4.
No, it looks like it doesn't work.
Well, Bishop E6, Knight D5. So
okay.
Let's just let's go back 1 second.
Yeah, you're right.
We were looking at Knight D5, but perhaps that's too risky. Actually, just Bishop takes F5 would win for Black. There, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Knight F6 check, King E7. The problem is you've got A2 hanging, plus then that'll Bishop H6 check.
I agree.
So I don't think anything is working there so
Queen
Queen
C4
C4 is
good.
a nice looking move, I guess. Bishop E6, Knight D5, Bishop D5, and
okay. Now it all makes sense.
Right.
Now that you explained it to me.
Well, no,
Wait.
Let's keep going. Okay, let's see.
I was just thinking of throwing Queen C8 check in, but.
Yeah, let's look at that. So Bishop D5 was played, and White took back. So Queen C8 check.
Forces Queen D8.
Queen D8, and then White could trade queens, and then he'd have that
capture.
vulnerable pawn at D5, maybe.
Yeah, except C. Well, okay.
You're right. C3, C3 or C4. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks
It's
like another
interesting,
approach.
But that's not what he played. So.
No, White's keeping queens on the board, and he's keeping Queen C8 as a threat.
Correct.
And there's is there any trap here? This is a dangerous position for Black, who's way behind in development here. And Black is thinking. So we'll take a quick look at this and then move on. He's got some things to think about. Let's see, Knight D7 might be met by...
Bishop takes knight. Knight D7.
Yeah,
okay.
Black. I'm trying to find a way to develop Black's
Well, Knight D7 looks like the most logical first thing to look at.
Although trying to trade queens with Queen C5 also makes sense to me. And then maybe Knight G7 check. No, that's... So
true.
Queen C5, Knight G7 check. Black can just play King D8, and then the knight's hanging at G7, and the queens can still be exchanged. So I don't think Knight F7 check is a move there. But I think Queen C5 looks almost like kind of a safe-looking move. I think trading queens would be okay for Black, At least that's sort of
Well,
the way it looks.
Yeah, because if queen b3, you'd play b5 maybe?
Oh yeah, queen b3 is maybe queen b4 after queen b3. I don't know. I mean, black has some problems to solve. He's not out of he doesn't have his,
Right.
if black can solve his problems and catch up in development, there's the bishops of opposite colors lurking back here as an issue.
Whose pawn structure do you like more?
I mean, if who knows, maybe a white piece will take up bishop d3 and bishop e4, and white will, but black has play too on in the dark squares.
Yeah.
It's one of those funny things. White can also try to play d6 and play a more sacrificial kind of game.
Yeah,
Also,
that's
f4
scary
is
to me.
possible for white.
Yeah.
Black needs to catch up in development or trade queens to feel safe here. And there's still possibilities of taking on d4. White can try sacrificing on d4. So this is a dangerous position for black, I think. And he's yet to prove that he's going. I think that's why Michael's thinking a lot here.
Yes.
He needs to
Make the right move here.
He needs to make the right move. This is one of those chess players need to be aware that there are critical moments, and
Correct.
stronger players know that here's a position that I need to put just a little bit more time into, because
Yep.
otherwise I'm going to get blown off the board. And that could happen to black here, I think.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me that this game could go in a number of different directions, and you're correct. And
Yeah, I
queen
think this
c5
is almost critical. It's probably better
Yeah.
than knight g7 because
Probably.
it immediately says, I want to trade queens here,
And if I trade queens, your d pawn might get weak, and
Yeah, or
Yeah.
at least that position
Or-
seems to hold some possibilities
knight
for black.
d7, b6, and yeah.
So one last thing before we move on, I'm thinking, okay, so white plays queen b3, hitting b7, and then there's the possibility that the white queen could switch over to the king side quickly. But I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
we'll
You're
come
right.
back to
You're
this.
right.
We'll come back to this. Well, board 3, we have another great matchup.
Elliot.
This is
Okay.
the young tiger, Ethan Boldy,
Oh, yes.
who's now an expert and is having a couple of really good tournaments. Now he seems to be coming into his own as a
All the
as a
pawns
player,
are on the board.
and he's playing seasoned international master Elliot Winslow.
I don't think he'd mind being called seasoned.
Thanks, Abel. Yeah, I don't think he'd be mind to be
No.
called seasoned either. I think that Elliot, there's been a little bit of a changing of the guard recently. Elliot was winning this tournament almost every time he played in it, up until about a year or two ago, maybe a year ago. But now a lot of kids have joined in, and
That's why we only play in seniors events.
yeah, we have everybody. We love all the people that are playing in our tournament.
Yeah.
They're some
a
of
good
them
bunch.
some of them are nicer than others, and some are saltier than others. But they're all nice, and we love them all. So anyway, Elliot's been playing, and now Elliot's been getting some young bucks have joined
Let's see
in.
this opening.
Yeah, let's join in from the opening, and thank you. So we have quiet
King's Indian
King's
attack.
Indian attack.
Defense.
And this is an interesting position because I've had this with white and with black. And when I'm playing with white, they always play pawn to c5. And when I'm playing black, I'm like, I know you want me to play c5, so
what
I'm
can I
going to play
do?
e5.
Uh-huh.
Right, and you can see there's a sort of like a little bit of a frustration on White's side. It's just too tame for
It's
words.
so symmetrical.
Yeah, I just do it out of
and
sheer,
the symmetry in these type of positions is not a bad thing, because the development is not the key. The timing, the element of time is not the most pronounced here. So you can mimic
Yeah.
White's moves.
But this is now a classic English opening reversed or King's Indian.
Yeah.
See now, and I've tried all sorts of different ways of developing White's pieces here because I don't like to study opening theory that much. And
Nor do I.
And I played the King's Indian reverse sometimes out of the Sicilian or sometimes straight out of the box, knight f3. And I've tried all kinds of configuration of white moves, c3, a3,
Well, c3
and b4.
is going to be played, which is why you don't want the knight there, right? It seems to me you're going to fight for d4 at some point.
Right, but and then you can play knight c3 as well here, and then play like h3 and bishop e3 and queen d2, or h3 and bishop g5 and queen d2, and so there's just all kinds of ways to play this. Another way that I've played this position for White right here is to play c3, a3, and b4. But that also involves knight d2 at some point. But you can just play it straight up like that. There's all kinds of configurations.
Where do you
Another
put your queen
move I've
bishop
played
then?
here is knight h4 to play f4 right away. I've played that.
That's like, go for it.
I'm a King's Indian. It's a King's Indian move.
Yeah, right.
You know? So.
It is so true.
Or played c3 and then knight h4 on the next move. So I've tried just about everything here. And never really gotten much out of the opening. I think this is...
well, there you go.
I prefer it with black. Some openings make sense with white, and some openings make sense with black. Interesting. That's been my experience.
Well, especially if you're a counterpuncher.
So e5, okay, so rook e1, and I don't think black has to worry about e5. He could play rook b8 or something else. Anyway, e5 is one approach, and I don't think white. I think black should be very happy here.
Yeah, he could play knight h5, f5.
Yeah, I think black is happy here.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about
White
this.
does not have absolute control of d5.
And can't get it.
And now we play. This is not how I used to play the King's Indian attack. I'd play it with c3 and trying for d4. But this is with black. Black is equal here. This is black.
So is white.
Yeah, black and white are equal. Yeah, that's true. Knight d4. All right, so trade, and these, no matter how you take here, nobody's getting anywhere.
I don't see it. Yeah,
that's the way. And Elliot decides.
Who's playing for a win here?
Right.
I don't know.
Elliot decides to keep it a little bit more complicated.
He likes his knight.
And that's another. That's a wise move in a way, right? Don't play f4. Don't play b4.
Yeah.
Just play b3 and wait and see. It's an interesting kind of a rope-a-dope move almost. I like it.
I do too.
a5 that's natural.
Thematic, yeah.
Bishop a3. So this is a plan. It's one plan. It's not the plan I think I would have chosen with white. Coming back here. A more standard approach would be to play just rook b1 and b4, maybe.
Yeah, he's going to play a5 anyway, I think.
Yeah, or a3, a5, b3 with the intention of maybe the bishop doesn't belong on the a3 diagonal where it comes to, but belongs on d2 where it's looking at both sides of the board. The bishop on d2 would be looking at both sides of the board here.
Because the rook is saying, I'm in no danger, might as well participate on this file and this rank. And
so black wants to play f5 at the right. It also gets the rook off the a8 diagonal, so black can feel more comfortable about playing f5. Okay. Shall we move on?
Sure.
Equal chances, I guess.
think so.
Or at least for black. So black should be happy. And this is another game. Okay, Gaff Ruyan, who's 13 years old, I think she is, and she's a master. She's 12 or 13. 12 or 13, playing Stephen Gaff again, one of our seasoned old. No, he's not old. He's a a younger,
older, middle age.
a younger guy, but he's not as young as Ruyan, who's
Yeah.
only 12 or 13.
Well, that's-
so
yeah.
he's younger than us,
Yeah,
Stephen
okay.
Gaffigan. I don't like to hazard people's ages so much because I make lots of mistakes, and then I get.
The older you get, the more mistakes you make in that way. You know, it's like you think someone's 30 and they're 20, and you're, you know, or vice versa, and it's like,
Okay.
oh gosh.
Yeah.
I've embarrassed myself enough.
Seriously, me too. But Gaffigan also has been playing some good chess lately. So, although he hasn't proven himself to be a master chess player, he can beat a master on more than one occasion, as well as being a very canny.
Seems like a
chess
candidate
player.
master.
Yeah, he's a candidate master. Okay. So
All right.
G3 against the Tamanov Sicilian,
Now this
A6,
looks all
and this is
very
Nick
normal.
DeFermian's favorite way of playing against the Tamanov. He beat me with it, he crushed me with it, and we played a 139 move draw in this chess club. Nick DeFermian, I drew the famous Grandmaster Nick DeFermian, who works here, folks. I'm bragging.
Just once?
Nick and I played 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
He beat me twice, we drew once, and I beat him.
Oh, woo.
So he's got the upper hands, but and I wrote about it in the newsletter.
Of course you
did. I give all the games.
I have 2 draws and 1 loss, so
But-
I've never beaten him.
Okay, Nick and I played back in our teens in the
Oh.
70s, 1977 or 1978. We were playing in the Bagby Championship. Did you ever meet Charles Bagby?
No, I never did.
Okay,
He was
Charles-
before my time.
He was a trustee here at the Mechanics
Yes.
Institute.
And his picture is everywhere in the
Right.
chess annals of
right,
mechanics.
yeah, that's right. He got his picture taken a lot. He was a trustee here, and chess player, and a very active chess player here.
Always
And
dressed in black.
always dressed in black. He was a nattily dressed guy.
Yes.
I met him on a couple of occasions here. Back in the late 1970s, I would say. He was...
Oh, I just missed him then.
Yeah, he was, or maybe even or maybe it was in the middle 70s. I'm not sure, somewhere around there. And but there was a bunch of strong tournaments named after him, and the Northern California Championship. Anyway, so Nick and I played a 139 move game draw in our first ever game. He was playing to win the whole time, of course, and I was holding by some miracle.
Yeah.
And he played this system. So this was, and the second time he played, he was white. He played this against me, and he crushed me. So.
Yeah, with guys like Nick, it's always like, you know, if you get a draw, you feel pretty good. And, you know, not losing to him is like a win.
Okay. So black is playing not the strategy that I would have played. Let's go back a couple of moves
Well,
here because
except for that last move, it seemed like he was making normal moves.
yeah, bishop d7 is good, but I'm not sure why speeding up rook c8 here. This move order
Correct.
strikes me as being a little strange. If I was black, I'd want to play knight f6 and castle before
yes.
playing rook c8. And it doesn't, and what happens here is black's best way to play this is to play knight a5 and knight c4, I think. But now on knight a5, white's gonna
yeah.
throw an e5 here and muddy
It's
up
a bit of
everything.
a monkey wrench. Yeah.
So anyway,
Why do
black plays this way, and white's developing, but this is still problematic.
I'm
I
trying
mean,
to think.
black can play e5 here, I think. Now white's marginally better with a little bit more
I think
space.
white has more space and has got to have some sort of advantage because of that.
Yeah. It was thought, and I might agree with it. I don't think that this opening, and Nick played this a lot, and I know Bobby Fischer played G3 also and won a beautiful game against Tamanov. It's in every, well, I think it was Tamanov. It's in every textbook, right? So it should be again. It was one of during his 6-0.
Well, Nick was a Fischer Boom guy too.
But it didn't quite suit his style almost. Nick's kind of gamble it up, or sharp tactical style, and this he tended not to get the greatest results, I think, but I'm not sure. On to another Nicholas. Nicholas's name should be on here too. I think he's only 9 years old.
I'm trying to find
I think he's 9. This boy here playing on board.
All these experts.
I think Nicholas is. I'm not sure how old he is, and I don't want to make a bad guess on my part.
We're having a fact check.
But he won his last game. I'm going to take a quick look.
Move.
Take a quick look at who he played in the first round. He played Jason Childress, who I think is rated. I'm not sure his rating. He's an expert, and this young man played a good game and beat him. So now he's playing Natalia Sodakova, and she's a master and
See, I
a
like
strong
that C4
player.
move. I'm not sure it's good, but I like it.
Yeah, no, this is a complicated Roy Lopez. Let's go back to the beginning and take a quick look at this. Boom, boom, boom. And
How many
both
times
players,
has this been played?
Yeah, this is the old classical variation. Oh, that's one of Keres's moves. I think 97. Keres has a whole bunch of moves named after him. I think he played it against Bobby Fischer, and Bobby Fischer didn't like the move, and Fischer. It's in my 60 memorable games. If I'm not wrong.
One of my favorites.
97 was played, and Fischer won the game.
And so Fischer, did he discourage other players from playing this?
Maybe, but look, Natalia's playing it.
Yeah.
And Natalia's from.
Because you have to play something.
She's not from Estonia, but I think she's maybe originally from the Ukraine. And I'm not. I'm going out on a limb to say that.
She's very familiar with Keres games.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So D5, and that's a very direct way to play these positions. But Black seems Black's problem.
What's the motivation for that? Why would you choose to do this?
Players have done this forever. The idea is to build up a kingside attack. It's very simple, you know.
Yeah.
Usually the white hopes to lock up the queen side and then play, you know,
yes,
some kind of.
I understand. I just prefer to keep the tension in the center generally.
Yep.
And locking it. Now everybody has a target.
Okay, so let's go back here. I don't know this opening here, but if I'm Black, I want to play this knight at A5 is my biggest concern.
Right.
So I would be trying to get it back into the game via, and you don't want to put a knight at B7 almost ever.
Right. Fianchettoing your knight is not.
It's really bad, you know. So I would think that knight on A5 would go to C4 and then go back to B6 and then another knight. But that's maybe Black's problem here, is it's no good knight placements. So let's see. Okay, everything's looking logical. So White decides to place on the queen's side, and I'm not so sure about that. You know,
it does look like you're
but
helping.
it's trying to block up. So if B4, knight C4, so White plays B3. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not, you know, this is like one way to play it.
Black has got to be happy with this, though.
So is White going to go bishop A3 and bishop B4 or something? Black's, meanwhile, is poised to play F5. So It's a complicated position. If white wins the pawn, even if white wins the pawn on c4, black would have some pressure down the c file.
It just seems to me, and this is just talking at first glance, but I would prefer black's position. It seems to me like I do have the f5 threat. I do have potential advantage on the queen side. Can I get an? I don't know. It is very tricky because you do have to hold on to that c4 pawn, or like you say, you could possibly jettison it at some point if you can get enough
or
play.
maybe you have to.
Maybe
So Nicholas is 12.
Another one.
And here, Judith, we're being joined by Judith Starry.
2 minutes. I actually did some research for you guys so that you
Okay.
know. Rui is 12, Nicholas is 12, Ethan Bold is 13, and Josiah is 16. So these
And
are
they're all on our top
youngsters.
youngsters playing on our top
They're all
boards.
experts.
And they're all experts or masters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Roy and Hosea are masters, and Ethan and Nicholas. Ethan's an expert, and Nicholas is an A player, but he's the youngest of the lot and moving up in the world here.
And so I want to talk about the titles a little bit because we got an interesting feedback. And by the way, we love feedback. So please email us with any questions and any suggestions.
Let me just say, is this about the candidate? What's a
Yes.
candidate master
Yes.
and who's a candidate
Yes.
master?
And I
Okay,
would
yeah.
like to explain the
Cool.
viewers so they know. So there are two different sets of titles. One is the FIDE title, which is much harder to achieve, and there are the USCF titles, which does mean achievements.
Sure.
So nevertheless. So there are two sets of titles, and CM is one of the confusing ones because there are USCF candidate master title, and there's a FIDE title with candidate master. So that's the difference between the two. So candidate master in FIDE, you have to cross 2200.
You have to cross
ELO.
2200. Okay,
ELO.
that's a significant.
And if you cross 2400, you become a FIDE master, and then IM and GM. These are the four titles, and then there are the women's titles as well.
Okay.
Versus USCF has the national master if you cross 2200 USCF,
Right.
not FIDE, USCF, and then the CM is when you cross 2000. So it's basically a meaning that you're an expert player.
Expert chess
Okay.
player equals candidate master in the
Exactly.
USCF.
Exactly.
Right, gotcha.
Now the question is, and it's a very fair question, should we list CM's USCF CM titles? And if we list USCF CM titles and we list FIDE CM titles, how should we differentiate between them when you list the players?
We have somebody contradicting you here, which actually I was wondering about that too. I think FIDE master is 2300 FIDE.
Might be right. I will double check. Okay.
And
Thank you.
IM is 2400 FIDE.
Well, there are different, for example, to be an IM, you don't just get your rating over 2400, you also have to have
Yes.
norms.
I
The
think that this
IMs,
is when
yes.
you're attaining the norm.
Yeah, so
that's
Right.
what this person
so
means.
you need
It's not a
you
rating.
need to have the three norms as well as FIDE
For
rating.
the IM, for
ELO.
Right.
FIDE master, at least when I got it,
You
was
just
you
have-
had to be over 2300 for 24 games.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. Something like it's
Yeah.
probably still
A number
something
of
like
games.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
At that rating allowed you to get the title.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so it wasn't a norm based, but it was you had to be that rating for a period of time.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So that's what we'll solve this coming few days. Decide how to
It's
list.
an open questioning. I don't know
CM.
the answer to that, and obviously I wouldn't, but they are both titles, so a player is not wrong to say about himself or herself, I'm a candidate master, even if it's awarded by the USCF and not by FIDE.
Exactly.
Right.
But
the-
should we, as we're reporting them here, go by FIDE only? Should we go by both? And
Well,
if
I think we
put-
can call them whatever we want.
Well, you and I can.
You and I can. But this is a FIDE rated tournament.
Yeah.
So we have to. So
But we
in
pair,
order.
we we pair by USCF rating.
Okay, so
So-
there you go.
I'm actually, it's such an interesting question. I think I'm gonna post it on the Facebook TD group because there can be some really, really constructive discussions there, and I love the feedback from my tournament director friends across the country. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
It's literally just came up.
I'm
So-
totally
Okay.
interested now.
FIDE Master, you don't need norms, which
That's
is
correct.
true. International Master and GM, you do.
3
What about
norms.
Candidate Master? You don't need a norm,
No.
so that's
Rating.
it's similar to
Probably,
FIDE Master.
I would
Yeah.
say, because
Right.
candidate master, when I became a FIDE master,
Yikes.
there wasn't a candidate master for
Right.
FIDE.
Exactly.
So
That's
they
a
added that
newly-
later.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So I don't
Well,
know
the
what the
Russians
Russian.
always had a candidate master.
Well.
the Russians did. There was always candidate master for Russians.
Yeah, because you had to be pretty good to be a Russian
Yeah.
master.
I remember that was a title for the Russians, was
Yeah.
candidate master.
Yeah, I have to look it up, but I think that is a newly created title somewhere around 90 something, 91, 93, something like that, if my memory is correct.
I do want to say one more thing, though. Jim and I are FIDE masters, and we still know how to push the wood a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Sure
you
you
out
do.
there, we
And
didn't get IM norms.
We are much stronger kibitzers than we ever were as players.
That's true. The U.S. used to refer to players over 2,400 as senior masters.
It's
That
true.
is absolutely
That's
correct.
correct.
Nice, thank
That's
you,
what I know.
Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
appreciate
so I
that.
used to call myself a senior master when I was over 2,400.
And why wouldn't you?
Right. And why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's.
If
and when
anyone
you get
wants
up-
to learn from Paul, you have a
Yeah.
free class on Thursdays, so just stop by. Right.
That's for
and,
sure.
And there is when you get to, higher and
you.
higher rated, the difference between class is much more pronounced. When you're 2,300, to get to 2,400 is a lot harder than to get from 2,100 to 2,200.
That's correct.
So when you're talking about a senior master versus a master, that is a quantitative difference. Those players are stronger than masters.
well,
And
I
so
used to,
senior
I used to
master
like to think that.
is a title. If it no longer exists, maybe it should, because it definitely is a class better than
I always
was.
tell people, don't worry about the ratings, don't worry about the titles. The results are what's important. You know,
But you can still be proud of your title.
you can be proud of your title, and you should be
Yeah.
proud of your title. But on the other hand, at the end of the day, you've got to play some good chess, and you know.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter if you have a title or not. If you enjoy playing chess, keep playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
know-
do the same.
Yeah.
It is interesting, though, and Judith is a tournament director, one of our tournament directors, and you're a very accomplished tournament director. And that there's still these open questions is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shows that the chess is, on many levels, just is complicated.
I think the USCF chess rule book is now in its 5th edition.
5th edition.
And people keep saying, well, why do you need a new edition? The rules of chess haven't changed.
I have
But
to-
all of these kinds
it's
of
ninth.
questions come out.
People are
I think
interested
it's
in the
9th
rules.
edition now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tim Just's book?
Yeah, 9th edition.
Ninth
Let me
edition?
double check.
This is interesting. So the FIDE gives
I would be willing to bet a dime.
so FIDE gives out online titles.
seven.
Oh, someone is kidding.
That is
That
really
has to be
interesting.
joking, though.
Uh,
I don't.
It's I wouldn't know.
Arena FIDE Master?
So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't.
Well,
know.
I wouldn't know either, but
Does
I'm
FIDE
skeptical.
Do they have online ratings, online titles and stuff like that? FIDE,
You're not joking.
FIDE
Not
online.
for FIDE.
Arena FIDE norms.
Okay,
Arena FIDE norms.
and it's a FIDE event. We have a okay. So
Okay,
you
you're
know,
substantiated.
we don't like to admit that we're way or not way behind the times.
I'm
We're
sorry, I can't
behind the
see your
times a little
name.
bit.
Hoodso.
Hudzokash.
I think he's
Yeah.
right.
So there's so there's online. Why not? I mean, the best players are playing online here.
Oh, yes.
all
I'm
the
gonna go
time.
back to
This-
tournament directing.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Judith.
Thank you.
Is there anything else
Thanks
you
for
want
pitching
to
I'll
in.
come back and now we have a cool new tournament. You don't
we-
even know it. You're
There's
gonna love
There's
it.
a tournament coming up
Oh.
that I don't know about. That's good.
Yeah, the more the
All
merrier.
right. Yeah.
Oh.
Bring it
And-
on. Bring it on. Okay.
Thank you for correcting us and then keeping us up to date.
No, and it's 7th edition, sorry.
Seventh.
So an
I would have won a
interesting,
dime.
an interesting position here on board 5. That was Judith Starry, and she's a star here for sure. All right, let's board 6.
You got to go back to the beginning.
Let's go back
see
to
how
the beginning. We're
this
moving a little
developed.
slowly here through this. This is expert Snyder versus A player Kuchek. So these players, the first players that we were looking at had all won their first games. Now these players, we're into the players with half a point each, okay, in the open section.
So we're still getting started in this tournament.
Yeah, we're still getting started with this tournament. Do you know much about this Scotch game? I know this was in some, were these World Championship games between, see, I wasn't
Steinitz
studying.
and Zukertort? Maybe.
Kasparov and Karpov.
Oh, they did play a lot of scotches.
I think there were
Yes.
some Scotch games, and
Yes.
so this was.
This doesn't look familiar
This
to me,
was. I
though.
think this might have been some of the openings.
They did play scotches, though. I do remember that.
Thank you for following us, all you folks out there. Knight b6, g3, g6, bishop e2. Okay, so this all kind of looks logical from my point of view. All right, that looks like it might set up some kind of
Yeah.
tactical battery. You know, black's pieces better do something over here on the queen side because they're looking kind of, you know, these pawns are stopping them from doing much.
Correct. So was it knight d2 just
Knight d2.
crying out to be played? Yeah.
Knight a4. Black
Yeah.
is looking for the tactical solution here. Bishop d4, c5, bishop e3. The knight was hanging at a4. Black had no time to take on e5.
Yeah.
And
Always
now
take the
f4.
pieces when you have that choice.
This looks like it's been a failure for black. I mean, okay,
Well,
d5. Maybe I'm wrong.
okay, because you
Maybe-
can't take it, and they take on
Maybe
passant.
I'm wrong. Okay, so yes, takes en passant. Maybe this is just balanced. And white, yes, black has done well here to free himself. I think, and the bishop can come back
Where
to
does
the
the
game.
rook go?
The bishop can come back into the game quickly to b7.
Correct.
So actually, this is my initial.
Well, you're still gonna, if you advance d5, you're still gonna be with a c pawn that's isolated.
It's possible that white got actually hoodwinked here.
I'm not
in a
willing to
similar-
concede that yet.
Okay,
I'm wondering where the rook belongs, on d1 or e1.
that's probably what white's thinking. I would put it on e1 just right away because black otherwise is going to play rook e8 and immediately pressure down the file.
Yes, because you do have a bd4 threat.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So I would
think
play rook
e1.
a e1, but black has got pins here and stuff. It's not that
it's not
clear.
clear, is it?
At
Because
all.
bd4 is always in there.
Yeah.
You
Black's
can
black's
take on
strategy
e3.
also is threatening to play d5 even here.
Well, that's what I thought.
So
Which is
right
why
away, I think white's. In fact, white could dynamically. White seems like he should be. I mean, positionally, somehow white seems like he should be okay. Dynamically, it looks like black is doing very well here, with d5, the pin on the bishop there,
And the pin on the c-pawn.
Yeah.
Potential
Okay.
pin.
I think white.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Complete turnaround. I'm
I'm starting to
entitled to
believe you.
change my mind.
I'm starting to believe what you were saying, though.
Okay. Let's go. This
Yeah.
is board 7, and this is also A player versus expert. The expert in this case being David Askin.
There are no easy games here.
No.
No mismatches.
So we're getting a standard Queen's Gambit. I'm not,
Yeah.
knight f3, Queen c2. I don't know this opening here.
Well, queen c2 is always okay.
Sure. What about knight h5?
I don't like it because your pawns are in dark squares. You want to get rid of your dark square bishop.
Black is trying to free the game by doing this, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Because now you have the light square bishop and your pawns are on light squares.
Okay, so, well, he's doing this.
I see, yeah.
He's
But that's
even
pretty,
more so. Okay, and White is
Yeah.
playing an aggressive strategy. Wants to play e4. And,
I'm all for it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Knight b6.
yeah. Now he's going to try it. Yeah.
Right, okay, so. And that tries to use the d6 square. So that looks like a good move. White is better out of this opening.
I'm still liking white. Yeah.
There were still some problems on the white squares and the long diagonal. So he nips knight b4 in the bud, which is a good idea.
Absolutely,
Knight
you want that
e6,
white
bishop
square.
c4. All right,
Okay,
black is under a lot of pressure here. Okay, a lot of pressure. White, very, very good strategy by White here. I really particularly like this queen c5 move.
Yes.
Okay. Black probably might have been able to have employed a better defense at some point, but he wasted a lot of time.
I think that's the
A
key.
lot of time wasting with that knight, starting out with knight h5. Whether it should be as bad as it is.
Well, it's not unsalvageable even now, but I don't like the maneuver.
Okay.
Okay,
So this is Christian Clemens on board 8, and he is a expert versus Sosa Kobian, who is a B player. I'm sorry, an A player, and I'm thinking about the A-B section, which game we're going to
we're
look
not
at
yet.
in a minute.
Yeah, we're not there yet, right? To stand
These players
moment.
also have a half a point.
Okay, this is
And
very
this is-
logical.
Okay. Bishop d2, I guess that's a move. Bishop d3 is probably a little more active. White's black.
Now
That's
I'm
maybe a
happy.
good move, but bishop c3 looked a little more logical, and then knight e4.
Because if you don't play that, if you play bishop back,
All right, so they both have agreed to
lose the tempo.
to lose the tempo.
Okay,
Okay.
we can live with that.
And okay, this is all looking quite logical
Is
here
that
to
what-
me.
really what you wanted to do there? I see what you're going after. Is that good?
Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's just look at the position
This
where
is
it is
really
now.
interesting.
This is turning out, yeah, it is interesting. And black is like, I'm going to win a pawn and stay a pawn ahead here, no matter what you do. Except for,
Yeah.
well, bishop g4, f5. So
Right.
black is a pawn ahead.
Well,
And white has, White has
yeah.
not played with enough vigor here, I think.
but you can't play bishop d6. Is that a threat? I'm not sure. Maybe not.
I mean, white can gain the two bishops with knight d6, and that's the absolute two bishops. With knight
That's a good
d6,
point.
yeah.
You would definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's
You're
just
not
go,
going to lose that ending.
let's just go back and even though I'm not really up on exactly what should happen here, but black just goes after
I would
white,
wait for bishop
after-
d3
okay,
before I take.
So but after white plays bishop h4, okay, so white can play bishop f6 here. But after white plays bishop h4, black says, I'm going to just go for it here.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this pawn, you recapture,
he
and
has
now
it.
I'm going to go right after your
Right.
d4 pawn with everything I have.
Now this is where I would like to
Yeah,
wait for a second.
sure.
Because
So this
Well, I can't-
taking and playing, I have a
castling
feeling.
is what I was trying to calculate.
Yeah. And,
Castling queenside.
and then black can play the knight back to c6 maybe, or knight to f5. And then white can try knight b5 or bishop b5 check or something like that. Right? So queen takes d4, knight takes d4, castles, and that hits the knight on d4. The knight moves to f5 maybe.
Maybe.
It could also move to c6, and then white can try some annoying moves like knight b5 or bishop b5, but you know, I'm not sure that that's enough for the pawn. And I like black's.
Yeah.
I like black's fighting.
Show me what you
spirit
got.
here.
Yeah.
I like black's fighting spirit here.
Now I was
And-
wondering if there was another possibility of just knight takes knight.
Queen
But-
g1 check, rook d1, and then b takes c6.
And what do you have?
White has a lead in development, and black has a pawn.
And that'll start to mean something.
Right.
Yeah, I
That's
think you're right.
You know, two schools of thought. You
No,
know,
I
and
think
so
you're right.
I'm not sure. And if I'm not sure, I don't like to give up material. So
Yes.
bishop b5. White is.
Yes,
white
it's
is,
Sarah one strategy.
White is it? Okay. I'm in good
Well,
company.
Or
there.
and Larry Evans too. yes.
Okay. I'm in good company. Yeah.
You are.
So again, black is just, you know, is consistent to the max here. I mean, I can see various ways maybe white could try to win the pawn back. Could play bishop h4, and maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
you can't
then
allow
knight takes
knight.
e5.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't allow
Cannot do that.
So you got to
Maybe
take.
bishop.
I think.
Yeah. Well, both players didn't want a castle, so this is what they get. Knight d7, knight d7, knight e4, a6. White decides that taking on c6 is not the thing to do here. Black castles, and white plays rook c1. And that's a
That's a
nasty
threat.
looking
That's a
move,
threat,
folks.
isn't it?
Back home.
Because you
Back-
have rook takes knight as
Yeah.
a threat.
White is threatening mate in 2, and so black cannot defend, make a move like f5, which is maybe a move he'd like to play because of rook takes c6 check.
Yeah.
So how does black defend against rook takes c6 check?
You play like knight b8? I don't know. I don't know.
How about the most direct move, knight f6? Oh no!
Oh.
He did. Oh, look at that.
He walked right into it.
He walked right into it. A lack of tactical. Okay, so this is. I'm going to say that I see this at every level of club play, and not among the masters, though, at this early stage in the game. This is sort of basic chess here, folks. If you can't get past a 2-move tactic, then you are not going to be able to rise into the
Stratosphere.
into the next level of chess player. And Sosa's been stuck at an A player for a long time, and it's moves like f5 that are the culprit. I'm gonna be as blunt as I can be, and it's called Bowden's mate, according to Michael Pace. And so white is just torturing black here, and
Ooh.
plays rook c6 check.
And
The
resigns.
rating of white is expert, and the rating of black is
Less than it was.
Is A. White is starting to.
There's no way out, bud.
White is a young man that's starting to sort of work his way through some of the things to become an expert chess player.
You mean
He's
black?
White.
White?
White's become White's become an expert through sort of working out some things about his chess. Black is an experienced chess player, but he's been stuck at the same level for a very long time, and I think that this is the reason that there's a lack of tactical. One of the reasons is a lack of tactical awareness, and so not to be too harsh.
Well, he was
but
tactically
there's
aware enough to win that pawn. with
Right.
those pawn thrusts.
Yeah, or just kind of, yeah, you played a good game and then just falls into a beautiful, that's a beautiful checkmate.
It was not an easy position to play after rook c1. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out, okay, what is the right
Let's
move?
go back, we'll go back quickly here. Black, it looks like black can play knight b8 or something
I
like
thought
that.
knight b8
or
was
knight
the only
f6.
move.
Oh, let's move one further back. Actually, an instructive moment here at the chess club where Sos Hakobian overlooks a mate in 2 versus Christian Clemens. Yes. And take a look, Judith. It's quite pretty.
If I can find it, everyone can.
Well,
Okay.
knight f6.
Here you go, Judith. We're going to present this as a problem to Judith. Starry here, put her right on the spot.
We're rooting for you.
We're going to give you a hint.
Okay.
White to play and checkmate black in 2 moves. This could be right out of the textbooks.
Oh,
This position.
knight.
White's move.
Yeah. So white. Oh no, you can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Checkmate in 2. So white makes a move, black makes a
Huge
move.
hint, by the way.
Yeah.
Huge. So there's no pressure now.
Anyway, white finds the mate, and you want us to show you?
No, not yet.
No,
not
no,
yet.
no.
Okay.
Let her
Not
think.
yet, not yet. Let me think. Because my inclination was, okay, let's move the knight, give it check,
Right.
right? But the bishop can take it, right?
And
Yeah,
then there's
so
no
there's no
checkmate.
checkmate.
No
too.
checkmate. So the other bishop, I mean, the bishop can do really anything, right?
Not in the present position.
Not right.
In the present position.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a
White's got a
forcing move.
beautiful move here. White has a beautiful
Okay,
move.
wait. So can the rook take it?
Yes, the
Yes.
rook can take it.
So the rook
And then
takes
pawn-
knight,
Right, pawn
and
takes
pawn takes
rook.
back,
And
Right,
then
then
what
what?
happens?
and then
Rook takes knight,
oh, and then
pawn
the-
takes, and
and
then
then the bishop, the
Bi-
white bishop a6.
bishop a6, and the black king has no move. Congratulations. So
I'm very proud of you.
That's
solving chess problems, folks, is the way to go. And
Because we would have
so-
razzed you mercilessly if
yeah,
you did
so
not get that.
Sos needs to.
But he walked into it, so.
He walked into
so
it.
Christian is here.
Christian's here. We're giving you a high five for your for your brilliant move.
Yeah, but we didn't
I wonder what you
understand.
gave me for losing the pawn earlier in the game.
We
Yeah,
didn't
we
know.
were criticizing you.
Yes,
for that,
yes, we
and
were-
Now we're praising you. Yeah, and now we're praising you for this.
The volume meter goes.
Then I should grab the microphone.
Okay, so let's move on. Are you going to hang out for a little while, Christian?
Oh, I don't know. He just invited me, and I'm happy to if you'd like, but
Do you want to take my
but I don't want to kick you out. So.
No, no.
I have to
let's
actually
look
get
at
back to
let's
work.
look at your game
Sure.
real quick, if
Yeah,
you would like.
let's start off
Come here,
from the
Christian.
beginning.
Okay, actually, let's take a few minutes break. I think everyone needs to have a little bathroom break and everything, and then
Okay.
we'll start in 5 minutes. Christian, is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
I think.
All right,
Okay.
we'll come back and we'll take
Judith-
a look at
Judith is
board
running the
8.
show.
Yes.
Anyway, okay.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, we'll be back, folks, in a few minutes.
We'll
okay?
be back in a few minutes. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. We're back, FIDE Master Paul Whitehead, FIDE Master James Eade, expert or candidate master Christian Clemens here, commenting on his lightning victory versus Sosa Kobian in round 2 of the Tuesday night marathon.
Max Wilkerson Memorial.
Max Wilkerson Memorial Tuesday night marathon. Lead us through the game and tell us what is going on in your head, and I'll try to tell you what was going on in my head.
So
So I
Queen's
played him
Gambit
3 times
decline.
before, all of them over 2 years ago, and I think in all 3 I had white, and in all 3 he played some kind of Benoni structure, and I completely forgot about it. And I think this is the first time he played this kind of opening against me, where he goes for the d5 break pretty early on. For some reason, I wasn't expecting that move.
So this is what, a Queen's Gambit decline, Rogozin, or Nimzo Indian, or
It's a little bit of
what
a
is this
hybrid.
called?
But the difference being that he's traded for his c-pawn for my e-pawn, and to be honest, I've actually never had this position before. So it's kind of out of my preparation. And
So
and
you
what
could
to do
play,
here.
you could just, Bishop D3 would be a normal move here. You could take on
You
D5.
can even play A3 and
You can
say
play
Well,
C5.
What about against the actual Rogozin without the without the c5 break? I play Queen A4 check and then Knight C6 and Knight E5.
Right.
But I wasn't sure if it quite works here because of the weakness of the D4 pawn.
Well, I'm not sure either, but you could. It's probably a book line. I'm sure.
After Bishop D7, and then I'd probably take.
what would you were expecting if you played A3?
If I played A3, I was expecting Bishop takes C3 check, D takes C3, B takes C3, sorry, and then
Queen
probably-
A5 or something.
right. Actually, I did expect Queen A5, and then and then I hadn't really worked out what I was going to do next. Maybe Bishop D2.
I have a feeling this is Black's bishop is misplaced on B4 here.
That's what I'm thinking. Just
I
put
thought
it-
so too, and you'll
put up
see
for
what he did with
show.
it in just a moment. So Bishop D2.
But this is maybe not the way to treat this position. It's going to
No.
make him taking on C3 sort of work, right? I think
Right.
you should be thinking about taking back with the pawn.
Right, and I
Right.
realized it a move later because
Yeah.
then I thought if I'm going to take back with the pawn anyway, why did I play Bishop D2?
Right. So I and you don't want to take back with the bishop anyway because your bishop is not fulfilling a great
Right.
purpose.
Yeah,
on
your
it.
And I'm going to get
Bishop's
an
on-
isolated queen's
So
pawn.
I
right?
think bishop D2 is not the right way to handle
Yeah,
it.
your
I don't-
bishop
I don't
is on
think
the
so
right
either.
diagonal
I
now.
always hate uncovering my queen pawn like that.
So I think
too.
that's part of it here is, yeah. And this is,
I didn't
but
expect that.
everybody
I
gets
missed that.
redeemed here. I think
Yeah.
if Black had played bishop C3 and knight E4, I think he might have been. But no, surely White's picked up an extra tempo here
Yes.
somehow with by having A3 in.
A3 it turned out to be pretty useful later in the game But should I consider bishop to f4 here? I wasn't sure. I thought for a while about what to do with this bishop. My first inclination was to play bishop e3 just because that d4 pawn might need a little babysitting later.
You could, I think bishop g5 or bishop f4, bishop d3.
Bishop
You
d3.
can't play bishop d3, I guess, because he could take on d4.
This is kind of what I didn't grasp about the structure, that just this d4 pawn gets pretty weak.
Right. So here,
I think I already messed up here.
yeah.
Well,
So here, bishop f6 and taking on, and then
D5.
playing c5 or taking on
c5,
d5.
interesting. I wanted to make c5 work for a while, I think
And
even before, but interesting. I didn't consider it at this point.
And you're right.
I'd already
maybe
given up on
bishop,
it.
Maybe bishop f4 is the right move. Is better here. I see your issue here because you don't want to give. You're a player that doesn't want to give up the two bishops, right?
No,
So
but the
bishop
other thing
f6 is
was
unappealing.
It is, but then also, after he plays d takes c4, then he's going to have 3 attackers on my queen pawn. I wasn't really sure how I can defend it.
But you decided to go in for it anyway. And actually,
Well, this was just a blunder. I completely missed that.
I'm
that I was
not
losing the
sure
pawn.
it was a blunt. Okay, so
yeah, we were really torn about this ultimately.
Yeah. So I thought,
You're
what if he takes
definitely
with the knight?
losing a pawn.
I didn't think he would take with the queen. What if he takes with the knight? So knight takes d4. My initial plan, this doesn't work, but my initial plan was knight takes g4, knight takes g4, queen takes g4, but that loses. Well, it loses the exchange to knight c2 check. So I couldn't do that. So my plan B was knight takes d4, castles, and then just
You
kind
know-
of hope I could drum something up.
you
but
know
that-
that's not clear. If he plays knight c2 check, you play king e2.
Knight takes a1, rook takes a1.
Knight takes a1, queen g7. Rook
Queen
F-
g7, and then
And-
does he have
yeah.
rook g8?
No, his knight's,
Oh, his-
his knight's gone, right? Knight g4, knight g4. You were playing knight g4, queen g4, knight.
Oh, you're right.
C2.
His knight's gone. You're right. His knight's
Of course,
gone.
he could
So
play bishop f6. So let's. But then you've got bishop b5 check. No, then he plays king e7. All right.
That's a
all right,
mess.
all right, all right.
that's a mess. But I think the problem was I didn't calculate any of this before I just retreated pretty much automatically to
Okay.
h4, and that just loses a pawn.
Queen g4.
I looked at a lot of moves here. I wanted to make knight b5 work because
Yeah.
his
Yes.
queen's going to be kind of overworked. But then I saw queen e4 check, and I didn't really want to play queen e2 and trade.
But that might be a better version of what happened than what happened, right? Because you
Well-
could change the queens anyway, right? So knight b5, queen e4,
did.
queen e2, queen
Queen takes e2 check.
king e2.
Castle kingside.
Knight takes c6 and knight c7. He's got rook b8. Yeah. You could take on c6 and play knight back to d4. I don't know. You're right. You're a pawn down.
I'm a pawn down, and I don't. Well, it's not like I have no counterplay, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely a pawn down. That's how I felt.
We were admiring Black's materialistic,
He did it well.
approach here.
I calculated this far already.
Right. So right now,
White has a little bit of compensation.
you've got the two bishops, you're going to lead in development, and
you're
some
going for
threats.
the 3 bishops.
Exactly. I want all the bishops. Well, so here I thought I can pretty much either force the win of a pawn. I might be wrong about this. I thought I could either force the win of a pawn or force 2 bishops against 2 knights, which I thought had very good chances to hold, especially with this pawn structure the way
Pawn
it is.
structure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think of that's a losing ending. You know,
No, it's,
you've got to be able to trade one of the bishops in an opportune place
Right.
to
A6
you
does.
know.
A6 may be a good move or it may be a bad move, but I have a
I thought it was fine, but
So if he plays f5, you play knight d6, bishop d6, rook d6, you're on e6, you're on c6.
oh, interesting. I was going to play. Oh, you're right. Maybe I should. I was going to play bishop takes d6
But you can just play rook d6 with a double
because
attack here.
because the e6 pawn's hanging. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Looks like White's managed to hold on here.
I'm just kind of trying to drum up
A6,
whatever I
Bishop
can.
E2.
So here, I actually was hoping to get your opinion on
C6,
this. So
yeah, I'm not sure.
This was
is
kind of a
little
bluff,
risky.
I don't know.
It's a little risky.
So
On the other hand, you know, you why not maybe play for a win here with White even? I can see why you might. So he can play F5 again. Now
he
on
plays
Knight
F5,
D6,
then-
Bishop D6, Rook G6, King E7,
King E7, right?
and then
Bishop
I don't know,
C4?
it's two knights versus Bishop C4. Let's see F5.
Because he could always.
King E7, knights. Bishop C4, Knight F8. I don't know. Yeah, it's a little risky for
So
Black.
I was wondering that there was some line in which I played Bishop takes G4, and then
And
I
now we
let him play
have the
F5.
famous position, folks. Somebody
So Rook
says
C, I'm trying to
this is
figure
called
out how do you.
Bowden's mate. And sorry, I interrupted you
That's all right.
for a second. This mate has occurred many times, but the best is the Peruvian mortal game, Canal versus NN 1934. Thank you, Michael Pace. Go ahead.
That's probably the
Sean.
game I studied to see this one.
I was trying to think of how does Black defend this. Obviously, F5 is a mistake, but what is the move that saves the position? Because I think this is a delicate position right now. Black is walking on eggshells, and I thought that Knight B8 was the move.
I thought so too.
Okay.
I looked at two moves. One was Knight B8, and then if I wanted to just chicken out and play for a draw, I'd play Bishop takes B8, King takes B8's forced, Bishop takes A6, and then if B takes A6, Rook takes C6, King B7, and then I'll move the Rook somewhere and be equal. Or I was looking at E5 to shut down my dark square Bishop, and then I play Bishop takes G4. But I didn't think that was a very good move because it gives up the F5 square forever.
Yeah, I agree. That doesn't look like a...
No, I'm not afraid of
So-
E5.
If Black plays Knight F6 here,
Okay, Knight F6 is another
Knight F6.
possibility.
so White...
Because it gives them the D7 square as an escape.
Right. I think White
Right.
White can play Knight takes F6,
And then Bishop takes A6.
and then
then it
Bishop
gets
takes,
messy.
then Bishop takes A6. Now Black
And I'm
can't,
threatening mate again.
Black can't play Bishop takes B2 because the Rook takes C6.
That's mate,
Good
I
point.
think. Or maybe, no, it's not quite mate, but it's
But
bad.
winning. It's winning, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see again. Knight F6, Bishop F6, Bishop A6. What's a good move for Black here? It's a
That's
funny
a good
position. He might
question.
not have a good move, really.
Does he run away with King D7? You know, is that
King D7, White just continues to munch. Plays Bishop takes B7, maybe.
right?
Knight F6, Knight... I guess I really have to take that,
I think
or
White's,
do I?
White, the Rook C1
Yeah.
is a nice move.
Yeah, it is.
Really just like,
I was very impressed with it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
'Cause
I was thinking of
thought-
I was thinking of
I
just playing
couldn't
Knight D6
figure
straight
out
away.
how Black could save this position at the Rook C1.
so Knight B8 maybe.
Knight B8, and then
And then
Well, there's another possibility. If Knight D8, Bishop takes Knight, King takes, and then Bishop takes A6.
that's what I plan.
yeah.
And then
And
well, I guess I'm not threatening Rook takes C6, but
Yeah,
it's still
After Knight B8, I'd almost be tempted to do something like Castle for White and
True.
just
And you could
play.
just
because he's
play
so
for it.
tangled.
Yeah, he's tangled up.
you could
If he
just-
plays F5, you can play Knight C5, and you've got like the two bishops or something.
I was wondering about that, but I also feel like if he plays Knight B8, then I've lost my control of the D6 square.
Yeah.
Not maybe that doesn't matter for much, but then I thought he gets a tempo for F5 and
Yeah. The thing is, you probably have just enough.
that's what I thought.
Just enough to, sort of keep yourself in the game.
I think so too. I didn't analyze Knight F6, but that line you gave with Knight B8 was the one that I looked at in the game, and I thought maybe the endgame's a little bit better for me with if Knight B8, Bishop takes B8, King takes B8.
Just want to show you the finish
Yeah,
to this
absolutely.
game here, folks, before we move on. Black played F5, double question mark. And White knows his puzzles. Bammo, Rook C6, a beautiful finish to the
Because
game.
there's no choice but to take it,
Yep.
and then that's
And
Over.
Cesar has given you a shout out.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks,
Yeah.
Caesar.
Caesar,
It's all the
give-
tactics I've been doing lately.
Yeah, no, it pays off.
Pretty much all I've been doing lately.
Being tactically aware is just about, John Grief used to say, always study your 1 and 2 move tactics. Even your 1 move tactics, folks. That's coming from former U.S. champion and very strong chess player.
Well, I think if you study those, then you see them without wasting any time calculating. So you just don't have to calculate, and it saves you time to analyze deeper into the position.
You're like a magician that just conjures things up out of the hat. Actually, yeah, pattern recognition, being familiar with these patterns.
Key to chess, as far as I'm concerned.
See the way the white bishops deliver the mate, even with all the other white pieces missing from the board. It's pretty amazing.
And it is kind of a helpmate with all the black pieces blocking the escape routes.
Yeah.
Right, if his knight were on f6, then I think he'd be much better.
Yeah.
Much better than he is now.
Thank you and congratulations, Christian. Are you gonna?
Thank you very much.
Question: Are you gonna win this tournament?
Well, I've taken a couple buys, and and there are a lot of good players, so I'd be happy to finish
You're
near the
one
top.
of the good players.
Ah, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good job.
Thanks for having
Nice
me.
play.
Thanks, Christian.
All right.
And you're welcome to
Oh,
sit.
sure.
You're welcome
Thanks.
to sit here.
If you don't mind, maybe I'll take a look at a couple other games.
Sure, and we'll hand you back the
Oh, yeah.
microphone.
Sure.
even.
Yeah, if you don't
Yeah,
mind, and
not
when
at all.
Judah comes in, just go ahead and
Yeah.
kick me out whenever
That's
you want.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to look at any of the other games.
Judah can
'cause it was,
kick us all out.
We're actually going to go to the
It'd be an honor.
top board in the AB section, and this is
Okay.
Uh,
Gotta
two-
see this from the beginning, because
yeah. We'll see this one from the beginning. This is a top board in the AB section, and we have a Perk Robach, Bishop G5, just another treatment here.
Yes, it's all very standard.
It's a
Logical.
game, folks.
Yeah.
Can Black play knight e4? Maybe, but he doesn't. So
yeah,
if knight e4, knight e4, queen e3, and Black doesn't have any trick there to, like queen a5 or something. Just taking a quick look here.
Yeah.
King
Always
g7, f3, h5. That's an interesting prophylactic move. Preventing white from playing g4, or at least
Well, yeah.
holding it down.
Yeah.
Bishop e6
Arguing against
is
it.
another. I'm not sure about this combination of moves here. Also, you know, white has a choice here too. It doesn't have to castle on the queen side, which is yeah, provocative.
saying
okay,
yeah.
So white's
Who gets there first?
Queen
Let's see.
g5 threatens knight f. Has the idea of playing knight f5 check. Also has the idea of playing e5 maybe, and then uncovering an attack on the black queen. So aggressive play here by both players. Knight h7.
Yeah, but why go to g5 to threaten that? Is that the best spot
I
for the
have no
queen?
idea.
Can white get away with something like rook dg1 and then just try and blast open the king side after black's played h5?
I guess it's possible.
Even at the cost of a pawn, maybe?
I guess it's possible. Just play g4
Well, I was thinking
right
of
away.
h4 and then g4.
Yeah,
Right.
h4 and then g4.
So you can't play h4.
But white's playing around here with the idea of playing e5 and knight f5 check, and black's knight is undeniably misplaced there
Correct.
at h7. If that was the, I'm not sure that was the only move. Black could try queen a5, threatening his own little knight to b3 check idea. If white plays knight f5, black can always take back with the bishop. So maybe
Yeah.
queen a5. I mean, but
Yeah.
knight a7, queen h4, rook c8, f4. That's it.
Seems
White's going right for it here,
Yeah.
and black's going back. That just looks wrong.
Yeah, I
Queen
have to say I
G3.
agree, because
Why doesn't white play f5 instead?
what
Threat
or-
is bishop
or
h5 though.
g4.
h5 by black is turning into a bad move.
That seems just like it's a hook.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was, yeah. Bishop f3.
Oh,
White's
didn't
ready.
want-
White's ready to play e5.
Wow.
Bammo.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
That looks strong. Black is getting pushed back into the hinterlands here. I like that move. I like that move a lot.
I would've
Rook HE1. That's
I was tempted to be more aggressive, but maybe you're right.
a really nice move, I think. White is sitting on a big edge, serious edge here.
Well,
I
yeah.
think. Also time-wise, although you
Well,
can
this is desperation.
B5 is not going. It should not work in this position.
F5.
F5. Look at this.
Yikes.
This is the evening of the fianchetto night.
And this is e6.
That just White can just play.
You
Takes, White can just take on G6 and take on D6. This is just looking as bad as it gets, or the other way around. White's thinking here.
I'm gonna play e6
Ugh.
now.
Black is falling apart.
I'd play
All right.
e6. If it was blitz, I would play it right away.
I would take on. I would go for the money in the bank again. Take on G6. Take on D6. Right.
It's money in the bank.
And that also
Oh, he
and
did?
that
Wow.
also threatens to take on E7. So it's just wins a pawn and opens Black up like a can of tomatoes.
But I think
And then if C takes,
oh, okay.
E takes D6, E takes D6, Queen takes D6, and you're hitting.
E6 looks E6.
No, but you can play bishop e8. I just realized.
Oh, I see. E6. So if FD6, Queen G6 check, but let's see, Bishop E8.
you-
I bet you Black's getting killed in that variation too.
Well, I would rather be white in all of these. This one is the most straightforward.
E takes D6. Yeah. I always like that simple, just,
Yeah,
you know,
It's hard to argue.
simple chess.
And I always had a tendency to make things more complicated for myself than necessary, because I was always looking for the,
The artistic finish.
and to be on the right side of a white moves and wins kind of diagram. You
Right,
know,
like the one we just,
It doesn't happen too often.
like the one,
Oh, there, he did, yeah, safe. I like
yeah,
it.
I've got to
Yeah.
hand it to White here. He's played about 7 or
how
8
could you
great
criticize?
moves in a row
How could
here.
you criticize? Yeah.
And then if E takes
Centralized
D6,
my
Queen
humble
takes
opinion.
D6, and then if Bishop E8, maybe just Knight takes B5.
So say that again.
If now if Black plays E takes D6, White plays Queen takes D6, Bishop E8, and then I think White has Knight takes
yeah,
B5,
just take
right?
another pawn.
Yeah.
That looks good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if nothing else.
Should suffice.
Yeah.
Rip
Or
the
exchange
queens and then
Or
exchange
trade it, then do
queens.
it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's even better.
Yeah.
Black is busted. All right, onto the top board in the wow.
Oops.
Pawn
Okay.
endgame. Interesting.
I think
I
that's.
think let's just take it from here, folks.
Wow.
This is
Wow.
let's take it from here. I'm not sure about the earlier part of the game, but this is a fascinating endgame.
2, 3.
I like black.
Is it too simple to just say Black's a pawn up?
Black's a pawn up.
Oh, I didn't even count the pawns, which is what I should always do.
I think this is getting. Let's see.
Yeah, black's got to win.
Black's going to play B5 at
That's
some
the
point.
immediate. I think that's what he did. It's my immediate impulse: just trade everything on the queen side and
Let's see.
push
how that-
pawns.
Let's see. That's exactly what happens. And Black's heading that way instead of maybe heading down the board.
He wants to go to D5.
So, I
Yeah, I
see.
don't know why.
So let's see if he
Yeah,
had
it
played
seems
if he
king
had played
B4.
King B4, King C2, C4 takes, King takes.
Yeah, then you're
Black
winning. Right?
Black is going to make a pass pawn on the E file,
Yeah.
and that's probably what's going to happen anyway.
Probably right.
Oh, but it
What
happens
about
in
F4?
this-
Is F4 any good?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, F4 is no good. No.
Right.
But what are you going to do? At H4?
I was thinking maybe just sit and then hope he
Yeah,
makes a
try to
mistake and try
sit.
and lock up the position.
Black's
But-
got 2 pass pawns now. White can make a pass pawn on the king side. Takes G4, C4. This is C4.
Maybe play G4 now and hope he doesn't play G6. I don't know.
takes, G4, C4, F5, C3, is white going to run out of moves there? There are a couple of situations where that actually is tricky. If because white's king can sit and stop the pawns from coming in, right? Like if C2, king D2, right? E3, king take.
Wait, what are we looking at?
All right. We're looking at white playing pawn takes pawn check, pawn takes pawn G4.
Oh, okay. So I play C4.
Okay, I play F5.
Okay, C3.
I play H4.
I can do whatever I want with my king, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You could just come in onto the king's side. So it's a different kind of special situation. I think black is just winning this pretty simply.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to board one. It looks like white's gotten a bit outplayed here.
We got rid of the minor pieces.
All right, let's see how this went.
That's a strong knight.
Black played knight G4, and white.
So white forced the knight to E5
White forced
to take it.
The knight to E5, and now has the worst minor piece.
And the D6 square is blockaded.
And white tries to trade that. The only thing I can say about this game is that white's strategy is a bit negative. You know, I mean, black is kind of calling the shots here. Rook F6.
Was it a Nimzo Indian in this game?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a Nimzo Indian.
And white has no hope of advancing that D pawn.
Well, he's got tactical possibilities here, and the tactics are starting to come in. EF5, and the E5 is pawn hanging. So maybe EF5, queen takes C3. I'm not sure what's going on here. White plays rook D1, and black plays F4. So this was a chance to change the structure right here.
Yeah, take.
If white can take
Why
on
wouldn't you
F5,
take? Yeah.
queen takes C3,
Yeah, but now I'm happy as white.
and maybe take on G6.
Oh, bishop H3.
Right. And then
And
rook
queen
F6
takes.
and queen H5. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting here. Let's see.
Yeah, let's take a look. So E takes F5, queen takes C3,
3.
F takes G6,
And bishop takes H3.
queen to H5.
Threatening mate.
Well, or rook F6 first. Rook F6 first, and then queen to H5. Threatening mate in 2. Oh, no, well, no, you can't take on F6 because that probably doesn't work because of queen takes C1 at the end of that.
Right.
So let's play queen H5 first.
Is there
It's
queen E3 check at any point and then queen H6?
Yeah, you can do that.
And
You'd have
then
to take the rook on
Then
F6
I'll
first.
take on H6. Oh, but then you play rook takes F1 check, and then take on H6.
Right. So maybe you have to trade the rooks first.
See that? Yeah. But no, but if you trade on F6, he takes on A1.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, let's.
I'm
look
sure
at
he
it
actually
again.
did calculate all that in the
Let's,
game.
well, no. Let's take a look at it again.
Incredible.
E takes F5, queen takes C3, F
Pawn
takes
takes.
G6,
Bishop takes H3.
bishop takes H3, queen H5. I think black is going to be probably doing pretty good at some point there.
Maybe rook takes F1 check,
Rook takes F1,
then queen E3 check.
and then king H1.
Queen H6? And I think you've still got to take that bishop.
What
Or you,
about- yeah, what,
you still
black
haven't
can
taken
also
back
throw
your
in
bishop.
bishop G2 check too. I have a feeling this
Yeah.
is not working for white. Okay, it's an interesting idea. Rook T1. Well, I guess the idea is to push the pawn, but after black plays f4, white plays rook f3. Where's this white rook going? Is it going to participate in a mating attack with rook h3? Otherwise, I wouldn't want to put the rook there.
Trade bishops in g3 maybe, but I don't know about that.
Yep, that's a good point. Okay.
But it seems like black could just play for g5, g4.
This is not an easy position.
Yeah, maybe put the queen on d7.
Well,
that pawn at d5 is exerting like enormous power. It's pretty funny. It's a kind of a funny position, I think. How's it going out there, Judith?
Yeah, everything is good. I'm just looking for the game forwards check Nathan and
well, I'm not so sure that white can't just hold this.
Okay, black's better, a little more space on the kings to expand on the king's side maybe, and to probe some of these white weaknesses with the rook. But it's complicated, very complicated. The time differential is big too, with Stearman well ahead on time. All right, board two. Board two. Did
Whoa.
black get his way after queen c5? White tried to keep the queens on with queen b3.
That would be my first instinct.
And black plays b5 instead of queen b4, which we were looking at. And a4, white's aggressively trying to open up the and
Whoa.
okay, so
Interesting.
black regains the pawn that way. It's in, yeah. I guess there was nothing going on the a file after a b5, bishop b5,
Or queen
rook
takes,
a1,
yeah.
king d2. Yeah. I get that white knight at f5 prevents bishop h6 check, and black gets that nice check on the back rank, but it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, the knight on f5 is really holding everything together.
So black goes rook b8, bishop e2, takes back, white centralizes, black,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's got to trade queens, right?
Yeah.
and white's avoiding it, and black's is insistent.
Insisting on it. Yeah.
It's the only way to make black's position safe.
Oh, wow, he locks out that bishop.
White's looking for the
Interesting.
tactical, looking
gonna
for the
play
tactical
F4,
solution, and he's
yeah.
that knight at f5 is keeping the rook at h8, and the bishop at f8 is kind of keeping black's king side under lock.
But what is he
And
saying
what
about
what
rook
about-
key?
What
rook
about
b6?
rook b6, right.
Well, then maybe
c3. That doesn't look good.
b6. There's vulnerabilities with on the d file too. Like, he can't get
Oh,
quite
cool,
get away
true.
with rook d4 takes. The discovered checks don't seem to lead to much.
But he could play something like bishop somewhere.
c4 maybe?
And then bishop d6. It's
And
true.
rook
Rook
takes.
b6 is a possibility. Maybe c3.
Yeah, I don't like that, but it's possible. Also, bishop c4 is possible, or bishop someplace else. Bishop
Maybe black has to put his king
f3.
on d8 or somewhere awkward.
Yes.
Well, that would maybe be better than where it's standing now. If black can
So
take
bishop
that
c4,
d6.
so he
What's
can't
that?
play king d7.
Okay, so but
dinging
then
it.
let's say black
King
plays
d8.
bishop takes d6.
Oh, then rook takes pawn, right?
Rook d4, and then bishop c5. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that white knight is just dominant at f5. Beautiful
Oh, then
piece.
bishop takes f7?
Yeah. The consensus is that rook
It's
b6.
interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah,
That's our consensus.
interesting.
Worthy of further study.
Yeah. Well, we have other games to look at.
Okay,
folks.
thank
So,
God.
Here's Boldy versus Winslow.
Ow.
And we've got
Winslow's-
my,
Opposite color bishops.
yeah, exactly. That's what I said earlier.
He did say that. I can confirm it.
So is black going to play a...
And I can't right
Black
now.
is going to play a4 and then
Oh,
queen
queen's on.
a4 and then play rook a7 and play rook a3. And then he's going to have a certain advantage. If that is what happens,
Oh.
So if he plays a4, is there a possibility to sacrifice a pawn with b4 doesn't quite work, does it? No, never mind.
you know, b4 would work.
It would work, but
yeah, b4 is probably going to be the answer to a4. But that's black's chance to
it's
maybe
not,
do something
you're not
over there.
threatening to take on c5, so is there...
Yeah, that's an interesting position there with a mutual Zutzwang or something.
but how
Anyway,
does
this
white
game
make-
is-
how does
Can
this
white play?
is-
Can white play bishop h3? So if a4, then
Yeah.
oh no, bishop d7 doesn't work. But I mean, just get the bishop somewhere
Right.
other than where it is. Queen a5. Interesting.
Well, that kind of nips that in the bud.
Yeah.
I don't like this game on all kinds of aesthetic reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You got to
just,
play queen c8 now to prevent
let's
bishop
face it.
h3.
Let's face it, guys. This is, you know, White had this strategy of that basically didn't give him anything, and black tried a little bit, but maybe not hard enough here. You know, I mean, there's
I know what
like
you're
right
saying,
here,
but I'm
right
laughing
here,
at you
you
anyways.
don't have to play knight d4.
No.
Play rook b8 and a6 and b5. Don't be so quick to play knight d4. What's the point?
It's always there.
Yeah, it's always there. That's a good way of looking at it. So I think knight d4 is a little ill-timed. Why bother? And then we get this wholesale massacre on and black does his best to make it a little bit interesting with knight d7, I guess. And white just pursues this sort of strategy of like, okay,
Is there any point
whatever.
to white playing b4 to keep him out of
Exactly,
c5?
yeah.
I'm not sure I'd have the guts to do it.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
because of
yeah,
a5.
b4,
but,
c5, something a little more double-edged. Instead, there was just this kind of strategy of just like
Black
I
has
think
no worries,
I mean, the
but...
white bishop was much better on d2, where it looked at both sides of the board,
Correct.
and this. You're not going to get anywhere this way. I mean, this is just white. This is nothing. Eventually, black's going to have
Whole lot
to
of
take on
nothing.
d5 because that knight can't be tolerated forever, right? So he
Right.
does take it, and black's offering a little bit of double-edgedness with taking on a5 and there, but white's having none of it. And that had the idea of maybe of playing pawn to a4,
pretty passive.
but queen a4, yeah.
Yeah.
So if I was both players, I would just offer a draw and go home, I think, in this position.
Yeah, draw
Is
by
black-
boredom.
Draw by boredom. Black could play c4 but his pieces are all misplaced for any kind of
Yeah.
breakthrough.
Yeah, it's not happening.
You know, both players are obviously not wanting to play f5 or f4.
Yeah, so maybe f5 at some point. If you really want to do something for black, just kind of try and set it up with king h7 or king h8.
Yeah, but the unfortunate part is the rook on b5 is protecting the a pawn, and you can't move your queen and rook away because your rook on b5.
If I was
Five
both
would be-
players, I would just resign. All right. let's-
Mutual resignation.
Both players should just resign. Okay.
I'm sorry I played so poorly. I resign. I do too.
Okay. Let's go back to this game. Ruyan, maybe this one's a little more exciting.
Draw by boredom.
We thought white had a little bit of an edge here.
Clearly does.
Space edge. Black reacts in the center,
Which you're supposed to
which
do.
is you're supposed to do, and e5, but doesn't play knight e4.
Yeah, I was wondering, can you get away with knight e4?
Probably, and it's the usual
I would have.
move.
I would have played it without
Although you
thinking.
could end up losing a pawn after knight e4 and queen b6 or something like that. That pawn at e4 is vulnerable, so black
Well,
plays a
not-
different way.
It's not so clear to me, because you can't play queen to b6 because the bishop's there.
Well, knight e4,
Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop, queen d. Oh, queen. Where does it go?
queen can go to
e3?
b6. We can go to
No.
b6.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true.
So it's a possibility. I don't see anything clear. Knight e4. However, white
Oh,
takes on
yeah.
e4, then going into b6, and maybe even going
Actually-
into a7 with the idea of bishop b6. But let's leave that for another time
rook a8.
Yeah,
zone.
I think knight e4 was indicated.
Knight e4, knight e4, d4, queen b6.
And then you have this threat of e3. Maybe not right now. Maybe queen. No, I don't know when you get that
I don't
in.
see how to make it work.
Well,
e3,
'cause-
bishop takes e3.
The bishop takes bishop.
Oh, and then c2 is
C2
hanging.
sang.
Yep, that's true. Somehow it would have to work. And there's the other possibility of taking on e4 with the bishop. So knight e4, bishop takes e4, d4, then queen b6. Anyway,
Yeah. That would not be my first instinct, but it might be right.
Yeah, it seems if you're going to play rook d8 and then play d5. like
but
maybe
knight
that makes
g7 has
a
its
little more
attractive,
logical.
has its attractions too. Black is maybe coiling up to play bishop c5 or knight c5 and
He only thought for a few minutes here, didn't he?
yeah. So maybe,
It's preparation.
all right. White's playing f5.
I would.
Boom. This looks slower than. So can you take combative issues arising here? White's thinking and thinking and thinking.
Instead of b5, could he have played bishop to c5? I don't know if you really want to trade off that bishop on f2, but
Yeah, then queen f4. That's true. I think black has resources here.
Yeah.
And this is not so
F5
clear.
was a little
And
loose.
f5 might be loose, but what's white going to do here? White should think about playing this like a French now and play something like queen d2, knight
That's what I was
e2,
thinking.
and knight d4. His knight is
Exactly.
misplaced on c3, so and on queen d2, black is going to see if he can maybe get in d4. If he can't, then he'll try to play b5 and b4, and a white piece might end up on d4, the white knight. But black will have some chances in there. Anyway, that's just a thought, folks.
We're just thinking out here.
Let's move to the 12-year-old Nicholas Wang. Was in this complicated Roy Lopez with Natalia Sodikova. And Natalia
That-
thought for a long time here.
Yeah, that was interesting.
and
That's very
played-
committal.
After Bishop played after a long thought, 15 minutes, plays knight b3. I guess.
Was that necessary? No.
Well, she's going after the a4 pawn, and bishop b4 is coming. So, well, let's give her the benefit of the doubt here. Knight b3 takes, bishop b3, and now a4 goes, knight a4, attacking the bishop at b3 and the
C3.
pawn at c3. White feels compelled to do this. Queen a6, white's won a pawn, but this pawn at c3 provides some targets. And meanwhile, white's a pawn up. So, and white had a good strategy of just show me
bishop b5, right?
bishop b5, queen a7, rook a8, and the queen comes back to e3, and black plays f5. So,
I'm still not sure about knight b3, but I'm not sure
And what's
what
half
I
an
have.
hour up on the clock?
I don't know why I would have a better move, but
This black has the two
black's
bishops.
gone for the two bishops. Black's gone for the two bishops. The fact that the extra white
Which you
pawn is
like.
pretty ineffectual, and is trying to drum up some play on the king side. Let's compare this position, which was reached pretty much by force, to that position after this. Black solved the problem of these, of defending the c pawn and other problems like white playing bishop b4 here. So she sort of plunged the sword in before white could play bishop b4. And also, after white plays bishop b4, there's going to be problems defending c4 anyway. So, but what about...
we can fianchetto our knight.
Yeah, you can fianchetto the knight. And if you take on a4 right away, white has the additional possibility of taking on a4 and then playing bishop b4, or maybe even taking on d6 or something like that. That just looks bad.
Yeah, it looks bad. Yeah.
So, and the other possibility of playing bishop takes a4, that's maybe, but then bishop takes and knight and bishop b4. Knight takes and bishop b4. So black, I think black, this move actually gave black some play here, and we reached this position by force. White's thinking. So what is white to do here? Knight e5, taking on f5 and playing knight e5 or something. Tactics, we want to look at tactics first. Excuse me. So takes, gf5.
Yeah, I wouldn't take. Why?
Or black could take with the rook too. But if you don't take, black takes on e4 anyway, and then plays rook f4 or something like that, and starts
to hit the c4 square, and you're not going to push that pawn anywhere.
Well, yeah, there's that too. Natalia likes these sharp positions, and this is a
the
very
problem
typical...
is that you do have the two bishops, but that dark squared bishop is not impressing me.
No, it's not. But it might impress us later. Who knows?
Well, that's one of the things about the bishops, is that they can annoy you.
Still, yeah, this is a good time for white to have a nice long think, I think, because you're a pawn ahead and you sort of want to make things count here. And the first thing I think about is this ineffectual bishop at b4, play bishop at a3, play bishop b4 or something, and try to make it work. We'll play rook a8.
What about...
If you play bishop b4, you're threatening rook takes a8, queen takes a8, knight takes e5, for example.
What about knight d2 here? I'm just thinking.
Let's go back one more move, and because white could have... Oh, okay, so white had to play
e3,
queen a3, f5. So what about white playing bishop b4 here, which threatens rook a8, queen a8, knight takes e5. Anyway, let's move on. I think we've kind of sat on this one.
Whoa.
Let's see. So after queen f, white sidestepped rook a1. We looked at this position.
Right.
We predicted that move.
Yeah.
We'll look at the Mercado game in a minute, a little further.
Now I was worried about...
White sidesteps.
Yeah, there's no combination on e3. Okay.
Yeah, queen c7. Black wants to take on e3 and play bishop d4 with this triple pin here.
Right.
Also, he's getting his own queen out of the way and white just soldiers on with f5. And
I
black
don't care
goes
what you do.
back this way, leaving f7 vulnerable.
Whoa.
There's been some strange moves here. All right, takes, check, king h8, bishop f4, rook f8.
All right, I'm out of the predicting business.
All right.
I didn't see any of that happening.
Okay, so does white have any shot here? Based on the unprotected Can you play
Can you
bishop
put-
h6?
Or bishop h3 is what I'm thinking is.
Well, this position, based on the unprotected rook at e8, what about bishop h6? It's the natural move here.
Correct.
That's pretty good. And the knight's pinned.
And the knight's pinned to d7.
So you have to play rook
So you have
g8.
to play rook g8, and then rook e7. Black,
I'm liking it.
black is busted.
I'm liking it.
Black is completely busted. You're
Bishop-
threatening
bishop
bishop
h6.
g7 check.
Well, okay,
and-
bishop h6, you can play bishop d4 check.
Then king h1. Okay, so there's no
but you don't have
threat
threat.
actually in that position.
you
Isn't
can-
that weird?
Yeah, you
Um,
can play,
Or is there? Or is there? Well, there's rook e8 is a threat. So
Well, you could play rook
bishop
takes rook,
h6,
but
bishop d4
C-
check, king h8,
in
and now what should black play?
well,
Rook,
Rook f8, maybe?
but then bishop f8. Then bishop takes f8.
Wait,
and then
wait.
if
Oh, you're
rook
right, the bishop's-
yeah,
Wait,
then
wait,
bishop
That's-
takes
that's
f8.
pretty good.
so we're saying bishop h6.
Bishop h6, bishop d4 check, king
King
h8,
h8.
king h1. And is black seems to be in some serious trouble here.
Can I play queen d8?
Queen d8, you can try. And then you, of course, there's always your bishop move, bishop h3.
Yeah, but now my knight can move
Right, bishop
b5.
h6, bishop d4 check, king h1, queen d8. I like it.
So you're threatening knight e5 now.
Does anybody see anything for white there? I don't know. Let's go take, somebody asked us about the Mercado game. Okay, so white found bishop f4. Well, we're not through with this game yet. Bishop f4.
Okay.
White found bishop f4, rook f8, and then queen e7, just to try to take on d6 and keep this pin. Very simple strategy. If black, he just wants to take on d6. I like that. Black plays bishop e5.
What about
Whoa,
work?
folks.
I think
bishop
so.
takes e5 check?
Well, rook e5. Let's try
Oh, rook e5.
d takes e5, queen d7. No.
No,
Queen
Rook takes
d7,
e5, d
But-
takes e5. How about just bishop takes e5 check,
then queen e5.
and then queen
takes
d7?
knight.
And that's not much, is it?
Then that might be.
It's something.
It's black has rook f1, knight f. Black's the exchange up, right? Black's the exchange
So
up.
if bishop
black
takes
is the
e5 check.
exchange up. Wait,
Bishop e5 to e5. Oh, you can
I'm
play
not-
rook f8 and rook e5. Oh no, then no. Well, white's the exchange up. Black's the exchange up. Bishop e5, d e5, rook e5.
Correct.
Queen
Correct.
takes e5, queen d7.
yeah,
Now
that's,
that,
you're right.
I wonder if there's a way to make
Oh,
bishop
wait,
h3
wait a minute,
work.
what
Wait a
about
minute,
rook
queen ta-
e5 and bishop h6?
Wait, bishop, rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes f8.
Then rook takes f8. It's still the same thing. You have to take
And the
on
knight's covering both.
d7.
Nice
Yeah.
covering both.
Is there a way to
But no,
make bishop
what about-
h3 work at
What
some
about
point?
rook e5? What about rook e5, d e5, bishop h6? My favorite bishop h6
yeah.
move again. There you go. And if rook g8, rook f7. So that must just win on the spot.
That's pretty good.
Oh, no, not
He played
bishop
bishop.
takes. Rook takes.
He played bishop,
takes
takes.
is pretty nice.
Oh, that's
So-
no, isn't it? Bishop
Does
takes.
he?
Rook takes.
Rook
and then
takes.
Bishop h6.
Let's see. Rook takes, pawn takes, bishop
Bishop
h6. Rook takes, rook check.
Knight
I mean, if you
takes.
play rook g8, rook f7
Right.
is busted.
Okay, so,
So you
you're
have to
playing,
play-
Throw it in.
You have to play rook f1,
Knight takes.
knight takes,
Then you can play rook g8.
and rook g8, and then bishop d5. Well, yeah, it's messy. It's
It is
definitely
messy.
messy. Bishop
e5. So he
b7.
took
But
on,
I still
he took
like
on
it.
So he took here. He's playing a different kind of Black's still paralyzed. This is unfortunate here. But white needs to find the continuation. I think white should be winning this.
Is there a way to
somehow.
go rook takes f8, check, rook takes f8, and maybe bishop to h3 now?
Yeah. But then bishop b7 check and bishop c6, and you're still.
Oh, the
Oh,
bishop
but then
gets back in the game.
bishop takes d7, and the rook on f8 is hanging.
That's true.
What are we thinking now?
Trade on
bishop
f8.
h3. Trade on f8.
Then play bishop h3.
And then bishop h3, yeah. So what about queen c6 check?
c6 check. That's no longer pinned.
Yeah, queen c6 check.
Yeah, that might do it.
But then bishop goes back to g2. Black.
And then queen c8 maybe, or something like that.
Yeah. White should have something here. Maybe something simple like knight e4 and knight g5, or
Well, that's
or
what I was
something
trying
like
to make
that.
work.
Yeah. I have confidence in White's position here. Positionally, he's much better as well.
True.
So some kind of positional
Black's-
win.
Black's pawns are not to be
A
desired.
positional win is possible too
Yes,
here.
I agree.
If there's no tacticals. I mean, knight f3, for example. I will guess he can play rook e8, rook b e8, and then e4 or something. Black is barely surviving here. Okay, Pane Askin, and
This is right next to me, the board right next to me. I thought that queen exchange was interesting.
White was much better here.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Is there anything with g3
why,
instead?
Yeah, why is he giving a pawn away here?
I don't know.
We're going to run through the games one more time and take a break here.
Okay.
To the end here. Bishop e6. Yeah, why doesn't Black should think about taking on g2?
Because what's the threat?
Knight f7,
Oh.
rook f7, rook d8 check, king g takes. Black's imprisoned a bit there, but yeah, it might not be so easy.
It might not be.
Wasn't g3 a possibility instead
Yeah,
of
g3
playing?
is a
Why not?
strong.
And then if he
that's
plays
right.
knight h3, then just like f4 and just let him stay there. Or no,
No, you can play
f2's
knight
hanging. You're right.
F2.
You're right. F2's hanging.
Well, if
so-
knight h3, rook d2, White's got a big grip on the position. If
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid of knight h3. White's trying to maintain his positional advantage here and not give up material. So why doesn't Black play knight g2 here? I guess he thinks that developing is more important. But after bishop e6, knight e6, White's just, this is crushing. This is nothing. Black has played, but this is horrible for
Yeah.
Black.
I don't understand.
a5. He
a5.
gave up the. Oh, he didn't want to face b4.
Yeah, Black is a mistake, a big mistake in strategy
Whoa.
for Black.
But
Rook
that was a
A7.
mistake too,
Rook
wasn't it?
a7, huh? So rook a7
He wants to play
has
rook b8.
yeah, threatens rook b8. Is White suddenly in trouble? Was rook c4 was a neither here
mistake.
nor there move?
Yeah.
He should maybe play rook d1 and protect and have the two rooks protecting each other, so that he can pull the knight out.
Or rook d2, any kind of normal
Yeah.
move.
Maybe White doesn't have as much here as I think. The knight at b7, another fianchetto knight. Another
There has been a
fianchetto
theme.
knight.
So rook
Wilkerson
A7.
Memorial.
Oh, interesting. Maybe he should have played rook. Yeah, rook d1 sounds a lot more reasonable. 'Cause then
I
you can play
don't
knight
like
d8.
You can
this.
play knight d8, yeah.
But now you can't play knight d8.
Right. White's rook suddenly looks ridiculous on White's pieces. The fianchetto knight is a theme in this
Not a happy theme.
and not a happy theme in this round.
And now you can't play rook d4 in any of these lines.
Yeah. Is White suddenly in trouble here with this knight at b7?
Certainly looks like
It
it.
certainly does look like it. Okay, we're going to move on to Clemens Jacobian, won by with a brilliant rook takes c6 shot
Okay.
at the end.
Who would have thought it?
This game. Wow. Okay, so we were here. White was killing black here. Queen
What
d6,
happened?
Jude, I'll leave after this game if you want.
b4,
No worries.
knight d5. White seems to be just
It's a
pouring
great
it on
position.
here. Queen g5 check, king b1, king h6 black. That's kind of almost a sneaky move.
What a place
What
for the king.
what- isn't the yeah, it sort of, it avoids these checks, but it's just, it doesn't look right. But nothing looks right about black's position. It's almost a puzzle-like position here. If I was white, I'd be thinking of playing queen e7 to try to resolve some of this
Sneakiness.
some of the sneakiness.
Or queen e5, maybe.
What's the materials?
Whoa.
White just up a pawn?
Yeah, and
That
look at this
doesn't look right.
g3 move, which unmoors the bishop. Oh.
And how did he fianchetto a
How
knight from
did
there?
He's trying to play h4, but
No,
obviously it's
I
black's
think he's trying to
move.
play knight f4, g2.
Yeah, okay, the knight is heading to g2. in my view here, this is g3, it threatens h4, but it is black's move. The simplest move here. I'm always looking for the simplest move. You're a pawn ahead,
rook
black's
e5.
pieces are all over the place, you're centralized. Play queen e7 or rook e7 or something like that. Go move into the center here. You're
E7
dominating.
looks
Rook
pretty good.
e5. Rook e5 is a flashy looking move here. G3 unmoors your own bishop. It looks.
Can I have some trouble, please?
Yeah. Okay. Knight f5. Knight f5. And now, black's knight
Bishop
was.
takes.
Remember, black's
Oh, now he's got to
fianchettoed
play
knight.
bishop takes c2. Yeah. Fianchetto.
Black's fianchetto. This is the turning point of the game.
Yeah, that's
folks.
right.
Knight f5.
Knight
is a-
g5, knight g7 loses.
Knight
Knight
f5.
b7 loses.
And white seems to be just developing
Now-
black's
now,
pieces
yeah.
onto c2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So bishop takes c2. Yeah.
Wow.
I think black's giving away a lot here.
I don't.
King c2, knight e4 check, knight takes cf. Black's giving
I
away.
see.
Yeah.
I see what you're
Oh,
saying.
no, not anymore. Black is
Oh,
winning.
he got the queen.
Yeah.
And queen check? No, no.
Queen check, bishop e4.
I
I think
think
black
something-
should have maybe calculated this
Yes.
before playing queen
Oh, that's-
g5 before playing
Yeah.
queen f5 check, because bishop e4 is such a strong move.
He wants to play it anyway.
He wants to play it anyway. So is queen f5?
Just a mistake. Oh my goodness, that's a terrible mistake.
It's a terrible mistake. It looks like.
Can you play like queen c5 or something like that here? And I mean, maybe queen c5 prevents,
Attacks the rook and threatens mate in a few moves.
and you can't play rook e6 because of queen c1 mate.
You can
Queen
play rook.
c5 is a tremendously good move.
What? Queen c5, rook d2. What are you doing?
At least you're not setting yourself up for you're not setting yourself up
d2.
for bishop e4, and so black.
Correct.
You know, I mean black.
Oh, rook c5 is a better move. I agree with that.
Queen f5, bishop e4, rook c1 check. Was this the plan?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
okay, well,
actually
what
brilliant.
if, can he
Well,
just...
king can.
Oh, he can't just take it because of queen c5 check.
The,
That's
the queen
interesting.
can take. The
Oh,
rook
he took with the
Queen
king.
c5.
h6 with the wrong piece.
Yeah.
Took with the wrong piece. So there was a kind of a black tries to
White
bail
would have been
out.
better if he had taken with the rook. White's
Because
White
then he
needs to
has,
take with the rook, queen check, and then two rooks for a queen.
And then rook c6 maybe.
yeah, well,
Yeah, well,
it
that's
takes
coming.
with
If you
check.
can,
yeah.
White should have at least a draw there. So
Well,
this
White
is
can't lose.
this is a blunder move. Queen c5 check. why would white go into this when he had a rook?
2 rooks versus queen.
White played a beautiful game up until a few moves ago. A bit of a tragedy. This game is
One more game and then
over
we take a
after
break.
e4
Yeah, okay.
and
That's
resigns.
That's
We're
true.
going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thanks for watching, everybody.
yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. This is Judith Starry and FIDE Master James Eade, and we are here commenting on round 2 of the Max Wilkerson Memorial Tuesday Night Marathon Chess Tournament. The round is well underway. We are rejoined here. Judith, did you have some announcements for the Mechanics Institute?
Yeah, I want to promote 2 tournaments that's coming up in February. One is the national tournament that we will be organizing. It will be at San Francisco Hyatt in Burlingame, and that's the U.S. Amateur Team West Championship. So you have to know there's a regional championship, but it awards a national title. And on that same weekend, there's the East Coast holds in New York, the U.S. Amateur Team East. A week later, there's the U.S. Amateur Team North, and sometimes in March, there's the U.S. Amateur Team South. So all the 4 regions hold their tournaments. And it's a fun tournament. That's one of my favorite tournaments.
And this is in Burlingame on February
15th, 16th, and 17th.
Okay.
So go out, go on a date on Friday evening with your loved one on Valentine's Day, and then come play chess over the weekend. It's a long weekend, so Monday is a holiday.
It's going to be a great event.
Yes, and we
Valentine's
have Valentine's Day is Friday.
No,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
You better get that straight.
Okay.
So we're going to have a 3-day schedule for folks who want to start on Friday, on Saturday, sorry about that. And then we are having a 2-day schedule for people who can only make it for 2 days. So that's a Sunday and Monday tournament. And end of Monday, it is one of the few tournaments that even adults playing, they actually wait until the last game finish, because we do have a trophy ceremony and award the
Nice.
plaques and the clocks, and just it's a
a
fun.
team event.
It's a
folks.
team
It's
event.
It's the
Always
o-
my favorites.
the
Yeah.
Olympiad.
Are you gonna
Playing
play?
on a team. Oh, no. I kibitz. I don't play.
So
Are you
and
going to come down and hang out with Nick and I
Yes.
maybe in Burlingame? Because we're going to go
'Cause-
down to Burlingame. Nick DeFermian, Grandmaster Nick DeFermian and I are going to be down in Burlingame commenting on this at the site.
yes,
I would love to do that.
So
you don't
would love
live
to
too
do
far
that?
away,
No,
right?
no,
So it's
that's
good.
an
All
easy
right,
trip
all
for
right.
me.
So
Yeah.
we're going to be doing that and looking forward to seeing you down there.
I
as
can
well.
kibitz.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Guest appearance special. Okay.
That would be fun. Yeah. So that's one.
Yes.
All the information are online, and please register. I get a lot of questions. What if I'm alone? Can you help me find a team? Yes, of course, we can help you find a team. We usually group together people who are just individuals looking for a team based on we know them and we know what they would like, what dynamics would work good. So yeah, that's one of the events I wanted to promote, and that's coming up in a month. So we are starting to see registrations, we are starting to see the requests, and it's very exciting.
And what was the other event that you were going
The
to?
other event is a brand new event. It's a fun 3-hour event for players of all ages and all levels. But specifically, we are targeting, or we are trying to please those who are mid to high rated players, but they don't have a whole day for a tournament. And
Okay.
it will be a quads. So rated gaming 30 quads for players, adults, and high-rated kids who, anywhere between 1,000 and up to 2,200, 2,300, whatever they want.
Quads, folks.
Yes, so
Coming to the
it's the
mechanics.
pilot is on February 8th.
February 8th.
And the reason why we did that, because February 8th, we're going to have a scholastic tournament in the morning.
Uh-huh.
We're going to finish up around 1 and 2 or 2. And the tournament director will get a lunch and then come back and then do a quad for the
Okay.
for the regular
That
players.
sounds really cool.
Yeah,
A
so-
new event at the Mechanics, a regular event of
Yeah.
planning on a.
Yeah,
on a
so
monthly
people, the information is online. The flyer is here. We just designed it and we just printed. Take a look at it.
Looks
and
good.
February 8th, we start at 3 p.m. So please be here at 2:45,
Championship.
2:50.
Quads.
And
Quads.
you know, like any usual quads, right? So we take all the registrations and we start grouping them in fours from top down. And what happens if we have 6 players on the top bottom? Then we'll just make a mini Swiss. So we're gonna pair those 3 rounds manually in
Okay.
terms of rather than pre-assess quad round robin. But yeah. The entry fee is $10 per round, so $30 per event,
Okay.
and we're gonna award $60 for the first place in each quad.
Okay.
So hopefully it's fun.
All
And
right.
then
Is there a second place?
no,
No, not in a quad.
you know, and you know why not?
Right. You only play
Because
3 games. 4
only
players.
play 3 games, 4 players, and also a lot of the times that it's tie, right?
Right. Ties.
So
that's right.
and that's so.
Here's a chance to double your money. Come down to the Mechanics, spend the afternoon, and double your money.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
play some strong
chess.
chess
Exactly.
players.
So instead of
Yeah.
playing blackjack or whatever,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah, yeah. Sounds good.
anyway. So this is new. Credit goes to Maxim, who brainstormed with us
Okay.
Friday afternoon.
Let's hope he shows up for the first.
Yeah. Better.
He already registered.
Okay.
He was the first registered because
Then has he paid his money?
This is
He
a
did.
chess club.
He
This is
did.
a chess club with a lot of active members, and they
Yes.
always are knocking on our door with some new harebrained idea.
Yeah, quad.
yeah, yeah.
And so, how come we don't have a grandmaster tournament every week?
Yeah.
Huh?
yeah.
What's wrong with you guys? And so we're always, so we hear a lot of ideas, and
Yeah.
hopefully,
And we want
the
everybody
good
to-
ones will
to get a
implement
game.
and stick.
Yeah.
And the most fun is to play somebody that's about your strength.
Yeah.
For me, that was always the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're much stronger, it's not that much fun. If they're much weaker, it's not that much fun.
I always
the
thought
quads,
that-
you're around, you're playing somebody.
Yeah, and that's how I like to sell
Yeah.
it, both for kids and for adults. That it's how you're really looking for not playing lower rated or not playing too higher rated because you don't have a chance. Quad is really perfect for that. So get your
Always
playing
enjoyed
gear,
playing
and
quads.
then hey, we have Josiah here. Okay, so let's take a 1-minute break quickly,
Yep, we're gonna
and
take
then we will have Josiah on the show. Okay.
On the flip side.
very cool.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening.
Okay.
Be back in a
Good
minute.
job.
Okay, folks, back here with Hosea Stearman and James Eade. I'm FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. We're going to look at Hosea's game with Ivanov.
Okay.
Before
All right.
we start, I did want to do a little shout out to Abel because our chess room director normally gives me a lift back after these sessions, and I'm letting him know that I'm expecting him tonight as well, even though, so call me or text me if you can't make it. I'll make other arrangements, but thanks, Abel.
All right, so
Was that a public service announcement?
Yes.
Okay.
For me.
okay. So last time I played him, I played d5,
Okay.
but apparently he plays Exchange Slav.
Okay.
So I decided to prepare something else this time. So I saw he played this e3 line,
Okay.
and then normally he plays knight g2 here, which is like a
Yeah.
Right,
like-
Yeah.
right. That I've seen him
not
play
right
that.
exactly, yeah.
Right.
And I was planning on playing the c6 line
Okay.
and bringing the bishop back to a5 and c7. And actually,
Okay.
black gets some pretty nice positions there.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
And so I briefly looked at this, and we actually played exactly what happened. What I prepared is exactly what happened. So
Okay.
c5 and f3. Here
This is very standard.
takes d6.
Yeah.
Right.
And so after e4, I played e5.
Right.
And d5, knight e7, knight h4. This is kind of all theory, I guess.
I guess. And
Up until
White
knight
has to be
h4.
careful.
no,
here.
actually, knight h4
I
was
think
the
knight
third
h4
prepared.
is
Yeah.
Yeah, knight h4 is actually the move here.
right.
And then after knight g6 here, though, I think maybe I prepared knight f5, which I think is the best move.
Right.
And you eventually get into a game with two knights versus two bishops because I trade on f5. Not immediately. I play rook e8 first because there's some lines
Okay.
that I need the rook on e8.
Okay.
But then,
Yeah, I think I've seen this now.
yeah. Then the next move I take on f5 and it's in balance. And I like this position when I was looking over it. So I typically like to.
Question of taste. Yeah.
Right. I actually like my knights better than my bishops. So
Okay.
this position.
Man after my
Hey,
own
you're
heart.
letting out a trade secret.
Yes.
What about your next IM tournament?
That's why you play Nimzos and like the McCutcheon French or
Yeah,
the Winnower
okay.
French.
Did you
know.
must know the Fischer-Spassky game from positions similar to this.
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, my
Yeah,
classical
that was a
game,
long
my
time.
classical game knowledge is
long time ago,
Okay.
Paul.
pretty
Yeah,
bad.
okay. All right.
So he
Let's
took
roll
on
on.
g6 and takes back with the h pawn.
Okay.
And I think here he has to play f4. If not,
Yes,
then
we agreed on that.
if not, then I'm gonna slowly just
Knight h5.
take my advantage. Yeah.
Maybe.
So f4 I think was the best. And here I had a little hard time deciding how I wanted to proceed.
Yeah, we were
Um,
not sure what you were going to do here. We
but,
thought there were multiple plausible moves.
Yeah. There was quite a few things I could do. I can try. I could just leave it,
And-
and he can maybe play f5. And I didn't really like those types of positions where sometimes he gets f5, and I didn't really want him to be attacking because he's a quite dynamic player. So
Okay, I agree.
I felt
I agree. You
I
wanna
really
make-
liked the way I continued. Eventually, we traded on e5.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to
Right.
play rook e8 here or queen
and actually,
e7.
if he's not careful, let's say he plays like rook b1, just like a
Right,
normal move.
you're gonna
I
rook.
could play g5.
Yes.
And his bishop can go back to g3. It's forced to go back to d2 because of knight e3.
Uh-huh.
And then I put my knight on e5,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that knight on e5 is just very strong.
We
So he
know.
plays bishop to e2, forcing the matter.
Right.
And I actually think here, like, there's no rush to take on e5. There
No.
really isn't. He could start playing moves
That's
like
true.
I was thinking.
Although he doesn't want you taking back there with a piece. For example, queen takes e5.
yeah, that is true.
And you don't have, yeah.
But I was thinking maybe he could try something like queen e1, queen g3, and possibly. And if I try to play like queen e7, then he can take back with the queen.
I'm not
not
sure about this endgame.
Because like, looking at the position, once I block up d6,
Right.
I felt that I was
No losing chance.
no losing chances, but also like I thought I was just better here, because his pawns on like c3 and c4 ended up being weaknesses, especially the way he played. I'm not sure if you guys saw the end of the position.
No, we do keep
so
going.
Here he decided, his bishop's obviously.
I thought he
like,
did the
worse than
right
mine.
thing here. Yeah.
Eventually my bishop will be much better than his, so he decided to play bishop g4, which I actually thought it was kind of strange because it allowed me to play f5 with tempo, and his idea is he wants to try to attack my pawns.
Right.
But eventually, once I get f4 in,
So maybe you should have played f4 right now because it seemed to me you gave him a chance at some real wild, crazy possibility.
I didn't think so. I thought I contained his his chances pretty well. I mean, we'll
We
see.
thought
Let's see.
Rook F6
Well,
was
we didn't-
interesting.
yeah.
It was fine.
So I wanted to play Rook F6 while the chance.
See, if I
because-
was white here, I'd be like, I gotta take on F5 right
but
away.
like if you take
know?
on F5, like your bishop on H3 is I take back with my pawn.
I know, but then I look at if you push your F pawn, you've created a backward pawn at E5, and if you push your E4 pawn, I've got play.
Well, actually, I'll
against-
just leave it there.
Yeah,
I'll play
yeah.
Queen D6, Bishop D7, Rook E8.
I'm not denying you're
No, yeah,
better.
yeah,
I'm not
but
denying
like-
you're better, but I'm looking for a dynamic
Right,
chance
exactly.
here.
I actually thought he should have gone for it a little bit
Yeah.
later, maybe.
Yeah.
So Queen E2, and
Here-
here I actually was thinking that I could play F4.
Right.
And after F4, I kind of didn't like. After Bishop takes C8, Rook takes
Uh-huh.
C8, he could play Queen G4, and he gets the diagonal. And if I play Queen
Right.
takes C8, then I was forgetting what he was going to play. Oh, Queen takes C8 is just a little awkward for me.
I gotcha.
He plays Queen F3, and my queen has a kind of a hard time getting because I wanted to put my queen on A5
Uh-huh.
and then play B6. That way, my queen is outside of the pawns, and it
Okay.
disallows A4.
Okay.
So I played Queen A5.
but now,
first.
why doesn't he take on F5?
Right.
Well,
So if he takes F5, I take C3,
Right.
we looked
and
at
so
that.
I win a pawn.
Right.
But I actually thought that it was interesting if you
Mhm.
play Queen takes C3, takes F5, Queen takes C3,
then
Rook
takes
A
on-
C1.
What about taking on G6?
If he takes G6, Bishop takes H3.
Right, and then Queen H5. I just want to give.
Yeah. No, I
that-
saw this. Queen H5, and then Queen D4 check.
Okay.
King
D4.
H1, Bishop takes
G2
G2, King takes
check.
G2, Queen E4 check, and then Rook takes G6 to follow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it-
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
That's
So,
very
but
nice.
I actually thought Queen takes C3.
Okay.
After takes F5, Queen takes C3, Rook A C1, Queen D4, King H1. And if I
Okay.
take back on F5, he has Rook F D1, and I can't defend the E5 pawn
Okay.
very comfortably.
Okay.
And actually, in that case, it's very complicated. But I thought that's what he should have gone for.
Yeah, he needs to seize a dynamic
because
chance
here, it's not very good for me to take C3 here. But now after F4, I pretty much
You're
got
threatening it. Yeah.
right. I mean,
so White plays Bishop C8.
he didn't. He played this instead.
Right, and
Which I thought was.
right.
I mean, it's okay.
So
but
maybe
I,
he should play Rook takes C.
Yeah,
Bishop
there wasn't
C8
much.
and D6.
No, but I looked at that. He's gonna lose. He actually
Yeah.
after D6, I take C3, and he's also gonna lose that D pawn eventually.
Yeah,
it's really
but
not
at least
going
you can
anywhere.
throw in Rook D5
Yeah.
or something. I mean, he's got to try something here.
So takes, and now I played Rook D8. So he's never getting D6 in.
Although
I'm
he-
gonna make sure of that.
Right, but
Um,
he could actually play it here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
He thought a while on this move, I think,
Maybe
and I
he was
thought he was
thinking-
gonna play D6.
Yeah.
But
Just to give every step of the way, I'm trying to find some way
Yeah,
for White to
exactly.
play
I mean,
some active
really
plan
though, because
here.
But how
eventually
does
I just
it-
walked over his position. Like you'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he played
I
Rook
bel-
D3, and his idea is D6, of course.
Right.
But I played Queen A4 first, and this was actually quite nice because the C4 is on pre, so
Yeah,
he has to
he has no
defend it.
time to take
So
it.
either he looks dumb and puts the rook all the way back to H3 or something,
Right,
H3
right.
F3,
Or it goes back to
um,
D2.
or right, he goes back to D2. But now his queen's forever stuck to the C4 pawn. There's no other piece.
Oh,
that
that's true.
And
There's no-
queens don't want to do
Yeah.
guard duty.
But-
and there's no other piece that can ever guard C4.
But that was true before he had played Rook. Yeah, D2 anyway.
So
Well,
something
that's
he,
the
what he
weakness
could have
of
what he could have
C4.
tried like
Yeah.
here was like Queen C2 and maybe put the queen on B3
I
instead.
see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because what ended up happening is after Rook,
You
I
blockaded the
blockaded
pawn.
and then played B6,
Okay.
and then he started playing very strange here. Honestly, I'm not sure what his idea can be.
And how are you exactly going to win this
Oh,
position?
you'll see. But
But if he did, let's say, okay, so let's see what happens.
I mean, he did do nothing.
Right.
So you'll see like how I
Okay.
improved my
Okay,
position.
yeah.
So he played Rook B5, and I was like, okay, what's the idea here?
There's-
I played Rook F8, and then he went back to B1.
Right, yeah.
And
He's
then, okay, so
given-
G5.
Yeah.
So he can't move the queen. It takes C4, and then C3 and E4 on pre.
Right, I see that.
So he plays Rook to D1. He's kind of just waiting for me to do
Right.
do something. I played Rook here, and then he played H3. I think this is probably it's a lot easier for me to win when he plays H3 because it gives me a little bit less.
It gives you a
Exactly.
a lever point.
Right, exactly.
It makes G4 all the
So say he played, I don't know, Rook B1, puts the Rook back to B1.
okay.
I think how I can do this is maybe Rook G6 and G4.
Right, as long as he can't
So
allow Queen takes C4.
exactly.
Yeah, This is like right out of the textbooks.
So he does have to play
You know,
H3
this is right
some
out of
point.
the textbooks.
Yeah, he had, well, right. I mean, or
Can
he
he
allows
play-
G4 without H3.
What about Queen
and
H5 here?
Yeah. That, I
Okay,
don't
so
like
Queen
that
H5,
either.
Queen takes C4,
Queen E8,
Queen E8, and then Rook F8.
and then Queen takes E5.
Oh, right. Okay, so after Queen H5, I have to play Rook G6 first.
Rook G6.
Right. So Rook G6, and then,
And then
either he
you've
goes
got,
back,
yeah.
or he loses the pawn. Right. So that was, you know.
Yeah,
But I mean,
yeah.
my next move is Rook G6 anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
mean,
So I see he's in deep trouble here.
Yeah. So he plays H3 and Rook G6, and my next move is quite obvious. I'm simply going to play G4 and takes, and then bring the queen back to D7, and then there's no way to go to G4.
Okay.
So he decides to go all out here, and actually it was quite nice, nice try here. Queen G4, take C4, and then Queen F5, take C3, and then Rook D3. So he wants to win the E5 pawn,
Okay.
and so there's no way for me to stay on the pawn. So I'm forced to play Queen A3. So here I think he should just.
But you're going to bust up the Yankees now by
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
pawn F3, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Actually,
Queen
the
E3
idea
check
is Queen E3
first.
check, and then just play C4, C3.
I see.
Because his two rooks are like guarding each other and like.
That's very
Right.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
let's look at that. Let's see
So
what
he
happens.
should just take E5 here, but he decided to play here because he thought he wanted to disallow Queen E3 check. But I take here, and then Queen E2, and he can't move either Rook to D2 because I have Queen E3 and Queen E1, and my next move is C4.
Ooh.
So, and the key thing here is his queen, right? His idea is Queen E8 and then E5,
Okay.
but he can't take D6.
So yeah, it's nice how tactics are
Yeah.
are
All
serving
working
the,
out for
are
you.
serving
Exactly.
the purpose of the position
so-
here. This
And
is
actually,
really
if,
well
if,
done.
if I don't have anything here, he can play Queen E7, and then my rook's trapped.
I got you. Okay.
So, but now it's C4, comes in.
So let's see.
The cavalry comes.
Right.
Rook D4, C3, and
Yeah, it's funny how the rooks are the queen is
Yeah.
operating perfectly.
Queen E7 and C2.
And then he tried rook F1,
Yeah,
and you played queen F1.
Well done.
I'm always impressed by how much more you're seeing than your opponents, and that's the sign of a very strong player. And
Well,
after the game,
It wasn't that clear how you were going to make progress when I was looking at it
Mhm.
earlier, and no way he's getting D6 in. Okay, but then what are you going to do? Well, you piled up on the weak C pawns and you tied him down to defense, and then you
Yeah.
could at your leisure just decide I'm going to play whenever I feel like it, G4 and G5 and Rook G6, and what are you going to do?
Yeah.
this third line with the rook, the white did nothing over the last 20 moves. So he needs to, if he's going to try to improve on his play, he needs to come all the way back to these positions back here to try to find something. The strategy was a failure.
So maybe
I mean, White's whole strategy was a failure.
maybe
I'm
he
sorry.
never takes on E5. is
Well,
another-
and also he doesn't have to move the bishop D2.
right.
you-
Well, I mean,
He
You
can
still
move.
have-
He can move Queen F3, for example.
right. He could. Yeah.
Because you're not going to take that bishop.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But they gave up playing positions like this for White a long time ago, really, I think. I mean, White doesn't do well in these static
yeah.
positions. This pawn formation that we're looking at here, particularly when you had this, I mean, these are not popular pawn formations for White. He's in a little bit of a trouble, unless he has a lightning attack. But
Yeah.
they're still played
Well,
sometimes.
No, I just think it's
Congratulations to Hosea.
Thank you.
That was a smoothly played game.
Really?
You're outclassing.
You made Aaron Nimzovich very happy.
Yeah, and that was a Nimzovich game. Okay, so you wanted to look at this
Yeah,
game. Let's go
so
back to the beginning
It's
and
very,
give
very
us your
interesting.
thoughts.
Okay, so
Give us your
so I
thoughts
kind
here.
of started looking at the position when I don't know anything about this opening, but it looked very interesting. So Queen A5 takes, and then Queen C4. So here, I thought Michael played this a little bit strange. I thought he was going to take F5 because that knight on F5. If
It's
you
a
allowed to sit
killer.
there, I mean, it's gonna dominate the bishop
Right.
on f8.
We
But then,
Absolutely
the other knight's going to come to e4.
right. So I
or-
thought takes f5, right? You still can't take c3 because queen
Right.
c8, and then you play knight c6.
Uh-huh.
And so the idea, I assume, is like
Knight d5.
knight d5, right?
Yeah.
And then we play bishop e7,
Gotcha.
guarding f6, and then our next move is rook c8.
So white is winning with queen h5 instead of queen c4, somebody says.
Oh,
Boom.
biology. Hello, biology. Queen h5.
Queen h5. Hello. Oh,
Oh wait, is this your queen e2 Najdorf?
yes.
Oh wait, this is his game. He's played this against like 2 GMs. He was showing me this.
Okay. All right. I'm beginning to see the point of queen h5,
Yeah.
actually. It's got the idea
not
of
sure what
playing
it is.
bishop c4.
Right, exactly. So takes
And
bishop c4.
So if takes bishop c4, and then black can't play queen c7 probably because of bishop f7 and rook d8 check.
yes, probably.
And the you're gonna
Okay.
get an overwhelming, even though material is good for black, right? You're gonna get some
Yeah, this is,
overwhelming. Overwhelm.
Biology was actually showing me his games in this, and very.
Okay.
Oh, Abel's in the chat. So is he
Abel's in
gonna?
the chat.
Is he coming to give you a ride?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to find out about that. Okay, so
Yeah, so he played
queen
queen
h5. Interesting.
Yeah. Queen
Okay,
h5. Interesting.
Queen h5.
Okay, so queen c4. Yeah, so I think you
I'm getting
take.
schooled here in the
Yeah,
openings. This is
yeah.
great.
So I
need to
think you
learn
take
some
f5.
openings.
I
So-
don't know. That's what
Okay.
I thought when I was.
Well,
looking
let's see
over
what
the-
let's see
Anyways,
what
So
happens.
he played bishop e6, knight d5, and he decided to take d5,
Right,
and then play queen c5.
right. Black needs to exchange queens
So-
here very badly,
Right, exactly.
I think.
So b5.
And here again, queen b4. Isn't queen b4 a little safer than
he
b5?
eventually played. He eventually played that. But I
Right,
think
but I'm
after-
seeing maybe right now it might
Um,
be even more.
Yeah,
I guess white
Paul
can-
was harping on that.
White
Trade
can
queens,
play
trade
queen
queens.
f3. I guess he can try to transfer the queen over to the
You
king
could also
side.
try d6.
D6, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
d6, bishop takes d6, and then queen d5. With bishop
Yeah.
c4. to
Well,
come.
or after
Ouch.
g6, maybe trade and play and try to scoop
Well,
up
I
that
mean-
pawn on g6.
Yeah.
That's
But if
possible.
you don't, then.
If you don't. Yeah, I know. Okay, so that's
Yeah,
that was
so-
probably almost the story
Yeah,
of
I
this
thought this was very, like, precarious.
for both
A4.
players. In
I
a
thought
way.
so too.
Like, if white just plays, when I looked at the position, I was like, okay, Chiron is gonna make very easy work of this game because you play f4 sometime,
And then
and your king is in real no danger here.
and black wants to play knight d7, knight b6,
Right, that's his idea.
and he still wants to play queen b4
But-
too.
Yeah. So,
I
but I
guess.
thought white was in no danger here. Let's say you play bishop
F4?
e2
Yeah,
and then
bishop.
play f4 next. I thought this was quite comfortable position for white.
Yep.
And then he played
Well, it
a4,
is.
and I was like,
Giving black a chance.
right, you opened up the a file.
Yeah,
really
and now
for-
it's
And
anybody's
I
game.
guess that you can't take black shouldn't take back on b5.
Yes.
The check is worthless, I think.
right.
or
That's
just
what I was
about,
looking
yeah.
at. Yeah.
So
And so
rook
rook b8,
b8.
I think this is good.
yeah,
Takes rook h1, and now you play queen b4. So
okay.
Michael forced the traded queens with this.
Which was
Um,
absolutely
And then I
necessary.
saw d6, and I was like, oh wait, shoot. Like, white is dominating here.
I know, but still,
And so the idea is you move the bishop away and then take d4, and there's nothing black can do.
right.
And you can't move the knight because if rook takes d4, bishop b5 check, and then
Yeah.
rook e8 mate.
Okay. So what can black do?
Is that a
Right.
bolden mate or no?
Yeah, that's true.
So rook, oh shoot.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, we're on a
You can
different game.
recover. Yeah.
So rook b6 and
we
then
looked at this.
bishop takes d6 is next. So
Mhm.
bishop h5, and after bishop takes d6, rook takes d4. Obviously, like, you know, white,
Bishop takes d6, rook d4. White
and
is
then some stuff's
winning a
happening.
pawn,
Yeah,
probably because of bishop f7 check.
something like that, right?
Okay.
Um,
So how
but
does
then I
black
saw
help-
when I was looking at his game,
Right.
and I was like, oh wait, there's a3 here.
Uh-huh.
Because after b takes a3, bishop takes d6, rook takes d4, bishop takes a3 check,
Ah,
and then,
create a little
Exactly,
more room for
exactly.
the bishop.
and
Nice
so
idea. Nice idea.
so I think Chiron played this the best he possibly could with takes d4,
Wow.
and then king b1.
Interesting.
Rook g8.
Gee,
Not sure yet. If I end up
Abel's
playing
saying
it,
hi to you, Reika.
if I
What about instead of taking? What about?
oh, I already
playing
went over my
A2?
game, Balaji.
What about?
Okay, A2 was rook A4,
Rook A4.
and you pick up the pawn.
Able.
Okay.
So, okay, nice. So
Yeah,
check.
so
This
take,
game is being a
and then
very
this was very,
int-
very nice. Rook
to
G,
sack the exchange.
right, sack the exchange on F5 and then take D6. I really thought this was quite a nice idea.
Michael is proven. Yeah. Okay. So go on.
Yeah, so rook D5.
And white has no time to double because the rook is hanging at d4.
Exactly, yeah.
So, perfectly perfect.
And this is an interesting position. So we
We'll
okay.
go back
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
tad for
Yeah,
me.
we're a little
So rook
slower.
d1, king e7. Okay.
Yes,
All right. And then bishop f7, not quite good enough, I guess.
Bishop F7 and
Rook d1.
No, rook D1 first, and then
Yeah, rook
bishop,
g1,
king E7,
and then bishop
takes
f7, just to see if it works.
It does seem
Just
to
to
work.
try it.
It does seem to work off.
it does seem to work. However, I'm not sure.
Can
you
you
Maybe
ignore
knight
it?
c5.
No, yeah,
and
knight
you have-
C5 and then knight
and
E4,
then-
knight C3 is coming.
Good point. Knight c5 or knight a4. Knight e4 or knight.
Knight E4 is
Oh
probably
yeah,
the best
Yeah.
fucker.
it's brutal.
Yep.
So he has to play
Okay.
something like this.
Covering the fourth rank right away.
Right, exactly.
Interesting.
And
Oh,
then
Chiron
is
is a-
that true though?
because after
Let's think. Let me think. That.
after knight C5, rook C4, and then
Yeah, it's covering
I'm
the
still thinking rook D1, king E7, bishop takes,
knight
takes,
c5.
knight C5, and then why don't you just take the rook?
Ooh,
Wait, what?
Wait a minute.
Take the bishop, and rook takes, king takes,
Wait,
And
what's
then
going
king
on?
takes
pawn.
b2 at the it's,
Oh, what are we
it's
looking
sacking the exchange back and then taking it b2.
what are we looking at?
Rook d1.
Rook D1,
Go after bishop
Bishop.
d6.
Rook D1.
Rook
Rook
D1.
d1, king e7, bishop f7, knight c5, rook d6.
And then I take. You
Take,
take.
king b2. Finish with king b2. That's probably that. There might be some tiny winning chances for white, but I don't
like
think
the,
so.
I don't like the winning
Look,
chances.
the
No, I don't like
pawns
them
are
either.
The pawns are fractured, and
yes.
but white is a pawn ahead.
What's
So
yeah.
So
Might
white
be
covers the fourth rank here.
so now he's coming knight C6, knight D4 instead.
Right.
So rook A5, knight C6, and he won this
Scooping
pawn.
up the pawn.
Wait, so why can't you take?
F5 is
I
hanging.
guess so, but isn't it hanging anyways? Why can't I not take it?
Why didn't he? Yeah, is it white's? Yeah. So white plays.
Rook C3.
I think maybe white wants to play rook b3.
No, I think maybe the idea was after takes B2, knight B5 is annoying. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe. Okay.
And then you may be losing the exchange.
That would be crazy. Really? Rook b? Yeah, it's possible. Amazing. So if rook b2, knight b5, nice little trick there by Michael, for sure. It
Next
looks
year.
like it just about works, huh? Because amazing. The white rook is unfortunately placed. So white gets the rook out. If rook takes b2, knight b5.
I think it works. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
If king
but
c1, bishop a3.
Yeah, right. But there's rook c8 to try to stop knight, and then you play king d7. But then rook a8, and then after knight c3, you can play king a1.
Okay. All right. All right.
I'm getting tired now.
Well, we're all.
Okay, so what happened? Chiron should convert. All right, we'll see what happens. Rook c3, knight f5. E4 is interesting
Yeah, e4 was interesting here.
to unleash the bishop to the e5 square maybe. Who's Balazs?
Balaji,
Balazs, yeah, I'm not sure I know him.
really?
Yeah.
He's like
Grandmaster?
FM.
Okay.
He's younger than me too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's from the Bay Area.
All right.
He's-
Okay.
I think he's come here before.
Yeah, probably.
think so.
I can't remember everybody.
I mean, pretty much everybody's come here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I lost track after Capablanca. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So-
Okay.
Rook c3. So what? Knight f5. So what's the evaluation here? White has a
So-
passed c pawn.
I don't
That's a-
see. Probably take b2 here. I think you can
Yeah.
take b2
I
now.
would say
Yeah.
you don't want to wait too long, right?
Unless he's thinking of like rook.
So white has winning chances.
Yeah, I was thinking of rook a7 possibly.
Close to GM, says Balaji.
Yeah, was rook a7 not? What's wrong with rook a7 here?
White playing rook a7.
Well,
I agree.
The only move there is
king
d8.
d8,
That's the only move that doesn't get mated.
and then rook f7. He's maybe worried about black is a little white. No, he has time, so it's not clear why that wasn't played. Rook a7 maybe did look crushing.
Rook a7, king d8, and you could also play.
you can play king e6, possibly.
No, king e6, bishop f7 is mate.
Oh, right. What am I saying? Sorry.
And after king d8, bishop takes f7 even as well. Next move is bishop e6 maybe. I mean, it just.
And what
looks-
is the black knight doing? He can go back to d4, but then it's still. I mean, maybe he wants to
don't
keep
know.
it simple here, but you're right that rook
Maybe.
a7 check
It starts giving him
very strong.
headaches. Yeah.
I mean, because you win the f7 pawn, and eventually you win the b2 pawn.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So,
It's not clear what
maybe it was a
was
miss.
going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, now e4 and you win h2, I think. Maybe.
Maybe you can play rook h3 if that.
And maybe Kyron is just confident that this is a technical win, but I wouldn't be so
I'm not
sure.
too
Yeah.
confident, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
I think
so sure.
eventually he'll pull it off, but rook a7 did look quite convincing.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, it certainly
let's move,
did.
Let's move on
Once you pointed it out.
What's the old expression? Let's move on in what city is it? Well, there's some old expression. Let's move on in Dodge City or something like that. Okay, something's wrong with the DGT
Definitely.
technology here. This
Yeah, okay,
drives
rook
me
a3.
nuts
Yeah.
sometimes, this DGT stuff.
Yeah,
Eh,
technology. Who needs it?
All right, so actually rook h3 was played.
Yeah.
Yeah, not f3. Okay. And maybe this is straightforward. And this is sort of the reason why this was played, is that White's just going to play bishop g4, target the h pawn, and it's a simpler win than it looked at first sight. So where did Black go wrong here? Because maybe Black had more. Black had a possibility.
so.
Yeah. Okay. The
As we
opening
were
was
informed.
losing. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's true. Black went wrong way back there.
He didn't fianchetto his knight.
Yeah. Yeah, he should have fianchettoed his knight. There were lots of knights at b7 and g7 in this round, so we were talking about the knight
The
fianchetto.
thematic.
Yeah. Okay, let's
Fianchetto
look
of
at
the
Elliott's
knight.
game. This boring game has now gotten very exciting. Look
What
at
has happened,
this.
Black
Elliott?
looks to be
Finally.
crushing.
Yeah, finally.
How did you bust in there, Elliot?
Let's see. Let's go back here to one of the
This
more
is still more
boring
progress. Yeah. This,
Okay,
we
boom,
we were
boom.
thinking both players should resign.
I mean,
Elliott.
whenever you have this like pressure on a single pawn like this, you can do
Yeah, you can do a lot.
surprising.
agree.
That's a
Surprisingly,
very
you can do a
good
lot.
point here.
And now
Black
he's making
goes
a
for
break.
it with
Yeah.
g5, and with all the white pieces completely tied up here. And Elliott,
So it just keeps going, doesn't he? Yeah. Why not?
doesn't f3 look like a mistake too, allowing more access to the?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I guess you want to play f3, maybe bring the rook to g2 sometimes.
I'd put the bishop on f5 and play king g2 and rook h1 maybe sometimes. I don't know here, unless Black has some other threat that
Like
I'm
if you
overlooking.
play bishop f5, like what is Black gonna do if you just play bishop f5?
That's what I'm thinking.
Because after h4, g4 put the king on h3.
There you go, for example.
Right.
Or you don't even have to do that. Can black swing, even if that structure? Okay, so he takes on g3, then I see. I just
Well,
don't like the fact that he's
Oh,
giving up
bishop
more squares.
Bishop a f5 seems like the move, right?
It looks like it to me.
Like, I don't see why this is so. Why would you want to?
And now look, the white h pawn, that's very clever of Elliot. Very clever.
I actually like, let's bring the rook over to g2 now.
But you're giving up this.
Yeah,
then.
but if he ever takes, you play rook takes b3 and queen d7, and then who's mating who?
Ah, interesting point.
I don't know. It's just
He
a
puts the
thought.
king on f6. I thought it looked safer on h6, but that also blocks the h file.
Yeah, you don't want to block
Yeah,
the h
okay,
file.
so boom, king e7.
He's running away.
You know, at this point, this is where you go like king g5, king f5.
Yeah, bring that king in. It's mate.
It's a fighting piece.
Yeah. Okay, king.
Okay, wait, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so king g2 here. So I mean, now you gotta bring the queen back.
Mighty Python.
Queen c2.
Black brings another piece into the game,
Oh, I don't know about.
and that's
Why was he doing this?
black is.
I'm
it
kind
White's just letting black?
I'm kind of confused by
Why is white's? Yeah,
Well, I'm confused by both sides' play, but
a little bit. Yeah. Well, it's just typical opposite color of bishop confusion.
and now
White's
this queen is
maybe-
infiltrating.
White's going to play queen a6 here. Yeah. It looked to me like black was doing very well there, and now
Yeah.
suddenly this. Queen f4 with the idea of rook g4.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but then
That's why he played rook g8.
yeah, but then queen a6 maybe.
Maybe the black king was safer on f6 than anywhere else.
I actually thought, well, like, how is your king on f6 ever not safe?
How about a black rook on b6 here? That would be, and the king on f6.
Oh, that's true, yes.
And the king on f6. Even
So,
if the
yeah.
queen went into d7.
But the thing is, rook b6, I can maybe play b4.
Yeah.
Things are looking not too clear anymore.
Queen f4 with the idea of rook g4, but then queen a6.
But there's no actual mate there, I don't think.
Let's try it. Queen f4.
So queen a6. Let's say you take g4.
Well, you could play
Okay,
rook
yeah.
d7. You
Oh,
could
that is
just
true.
play
Yeah,
rook
you can play rook d7.
Look at that.
That's quite nice.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so I actually like queen
Well,
f4 here then.
Queen f4,
Well,
queen
queen
a6,
c6,
rook
fun.
d7,
Well, queen c6, I take g4.
and then
Right.
queen f3 check and queen takes d1, if
Right.
nothing else.
Yeah, if nothing else.
Right. Good points.
So maybe white's in trouble here. Queen f4. It
Yeah, queen
looks,
f4 is strong.
It threatens rook g4. What can white do? Maybe nothing. I think that might be just about it.
I
He's
don't-
got to see rook d7 though.
Yeah, that's true.
And in this tournament, people miss a lot.
Well,
There was a lovely mate on one of the
Yeah, I
boards.
saw
Did you
rook
see
takes
that?
c6,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's, of course it's obvious, but at the same time, it's nice to see this occur over and over and over again.
Yeah, so if queen f4 is played here, I think Elliot can come away with this one.
it might be
It
good night,
looks
Irene.
just about over after queen f4, I think.
Is there
I guess
any
you have
place
to come
can
back to
put
c2.
the-
White had a real sort of,
You have to go back to c2 probably.
and then
That protects the rook.
If I strict, and then you also can bring the queen back to g2 potentially.
that's true. That's true.
So, yeah. But then your queen c4 move looks very,
Dubious.
yeah.
I want
Like
to
a waste
sack.
of
I want to
time.
sack a whole bunch of pawns by playing like f5 takes and then e4 after queen c2, right? T takes and then something else. That
I mean, you
doesn't
could also
seem to work.
Yeah.
Well, you think black should
Well, how
somehow
about
succeed
if he
here.
plays queen c2, you just play the rook on b7 to b8,
Yeah, you could do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
and then you just build and
Right. It
crash in.
should. It looks like it. I agree.
Yeah. So if you
We
find
like
this queen
black's
f4, then I
chances.
think yeah, black's doing quite well.
And what about this game? This game didn't look very clear here.
Yeah, we were thought f5 might have been a little loose, but
And
we'll see.
okay.
Interesting.
This looks crushing for.
Not clear though. If you can't play yeah, I guess it does. White.
I mean, eventually you're gonna get f6 in.
Yeah, that's true. And black is. Yeah. So that forced it takes f5, I suppose.
No, it doesn't look that clear. It takes knight e6, queen h4 probably. Oh, queen g3. Actually, I don't know. White may have slipped up a little bit.
Well, let's see. Still
These positions-
threatening the d pawn.
These Sicilian positions.
I know. I've
They,
always felt that way.
It's tactics that are dominating.
Well, king h2
And then where's White's
there's
attack?
no.
He's
I
trying
mean,
to
you
win
just
the,
take d5
the pawn.
and win,
yeah.
win an endgame.
So black maybe plays right.
Uh,
Take on d5 and try to win one game.
You also have like knight d6 coming
Yeah.
in.
Okay, looks better for White.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It does.
There's a vulnerability at c2, but black, okay. So let's see. White looks better there. What about this game? We haven't seen this in a long time.
No, I haven't. Yeah.
We were back here. Let's just go back to where we were.
That's even further. Than,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
right here.
Was this
You're
a
right here.
Sveshnikov or something?
She went to
No, it was a Roy Lopez.
queen e3 to c1.
Yeah, it was a close
Okay.
Roy.
And she sacked a pawn.
She sacked a pawn to get this, but that was a good sacrifice, I think.
Oh, she's black.
Yeah, against Nicholas, who's a 12-year-old, but he's a pretty strong player.
He won
already.
last week against Jason.
Right. So
Maybe even bishop d3.
we looked at bishop b4 as being a little more direct. I don't know about queen c1. Boom. Black. White's pieces look funny. The placement of
Yeah.
them is a little strange. On the, but
People
This-
Like you
strange
moved
when you're a
every piece
stranger.
from the back rank that was defending the rook on a1.
yeah, it's very odd. Bishop a6.
Why can't
Not
we play,
sure why.
Why can't we play bishop f? Oh, bishop f5 g4.
Black could think about playing E. Oh, no, I guess not. Yeah. Okay. It's still there's nothing perfect here, and White finally gets out of this pen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't really play g5,
And
g4 there.
Black has an active game and the two bishops, but nothing decisive yet.
Also,
Although this is
down a pawn,
nicely, down a pawn, right? Oh, that doesn't
Right,
that just
that's-
run into bishop f5?
Well, apparently not.
Uh,
huh? I don't know what's
so-
going on.
What's your-
g4.
Oh, I see. G4, yeah, sure. Okay.
Bishop d8.
To bring the bishop around.
Around to where, though?
Around to back there.
This is interesting. I still don't know. Okay, so she's
Yeah, I
still-
mean, it's just one of those
It's just
positions
starting
where
to look a
you're.
little bit better.
It's just one of those positions where you just keep trying to put your pieces on better squares, and you try to use those bishops. That extra pawn is pretty worthless. It has been. So
Certainly has been. c4 possible now? I don't know.
then bishop c4 and rook b2.
Oops.
I don't know.
Good point.
I mean, but that's possible. It's still possible to do that. That bishop on that dark square bishop of White's has been miserable for a long time.
I know.
Wow, rook to d1. Can I play rook takes f2 here? No, probably not.
You can play.
I don't think
You
so.
can probably play bishop h4.
King f2.
Bishop h4, bishop c1.
Ah, yeah.
All right, so it's still compensation for the pawn.
For sure.
Yeah, let's just call it that and move on to our board. Okay, Mr. Snyder won this game. This game, Jose, can I go back to the beginning of this game with you because
getting too tuckered.
it puzzled me, this game here. This is a Scotch. Is this book, or do you know how book this is?
I've seen this position many times.
So it's book.
Yes.
Okay.
We
What do you
thought-
know about this?
Not much, but white looks to be. I
Very
would definitely
good.
prefer white.
Me
right,
too.
but watch what happened. Yeah, okay. So
Now this kind of throws a
Yeah,
little.
that looks the thematic, I think. But still, yeah, I would prefer white. Maybe.
Yeah, no.
yeah.
It got really
No,
messy.
definitely, yeah,
It got
definitely.
Now
messy.
black definitely. Yeah, I think white's
Yeah.
played well here.
I mean, those pieces on the queen side
Are terrible,
aren't doing anything.
especially when you couldn't play d5. And there's no tactic here that works for black, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
But black just, to prevent f6, black goes all out with this. This is just terrible.
Yeah, this is.
Something's got to work for white here, and we looked for a long time, like back here, bishop h6, but we couldn't quite make anything really.
Yeah, what's wrong with bishop h6? I guess you
Bishop
play
d4
yeah, bishop
check,
d4.
and then some slimy move to get out of trouble.
Okay, but it-
Queen e8 or something. Was that what we did?
We went bishop d4 and then rook f8, and then on queen e7, queen d8. I don't remember exactly what we did.
Wait, what? No.
I think we played
Bishop h6.
bishop check
Bishop
and then
check.
queen
King
d8.
h1, and then queen d8.
I think we did.
Yeah, to protect the rook. Or rook g8. No, maybe we did play queen d8.
That looks suspicious to me.
Yeah, the black's position looks
Well,
suspicious.
it does look
I
like
mean,
there should
it
be
looked like
something,
bishop h6.
but we couldn't find it.
No, I mean, I think knight e4 there should be completely winning.
He found, obviously found a way to win it here.
Yeah.
Bishop f4, rook f8. I mean, I think something's got to give here at some point.
Now we thought rook takes.
Yeah, rook takes did look quite strong.
Rook takes, but
And
again,
then
and then
bishop
bishop
h6.
8, back to h6.
Yeah, that looks winning. But I mean,
Yeah,
This is quite
this is
simple.
another way to do it.
What's wrong with this?
like,
Yeah.
rook a8. Oh, he just resigned there.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
resigned.
Rook
after
a8 would
that.
be a pretty fun.
Knight g5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if bishop g2, you don't. He can play king g1, and you don't even have time to play knight f6. All right.
Yeah, there's no out there.
Okay, so then,
This looks like.
yeah, this is Pane versus Askin
This looks like a win.
for white.
I think so.
Yeah, let's see. Back here.
Wait, what?
Well, I'm going back.
How did this go to what happened? Wait,
There
wait,
was
wait.
some bad moves by both players. White had what looked like a completely dominating position here.
Yeah, we were pretty happy.
Um,
we didn't
but
know why he
then
didn't take on
black
g2.
should maybe take on g2 just to get some kind of, even though white can tie black up, it's not that clear. But watch how white's knight gets into trouble here. The fianchettoed knight, Jose, I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
another one. Yeah.
b8, rook d7, a5. I mean, look, black looks horrible. All white needs to do is double rooks. But goes on this, how did he defend this? Oh, he can defend with rook b3. But maybe black should play rook b8 just to tie him up, right? Like, what happens after rook b8? How does white make any progress?
Rook b8,
Rook
b6.
b3. I guess the knight can move, uncovering an attack on both
Rook
rooks. or
b3,
something.
b6 is probably how he gets out.
Yeah, I guess it must be some way. Anyway. Why not take this pawn? I guess the c6 pawn would be lost. Does that move make sense? I'm not sure. Is that to prevent pawn to a4 and then rook b8 winning the knight at b7? I think maybe.
Always the rook check was there to save it. If he moves the rook.
You have to play every move with one hand. I think.
Okay, so if rook b8, rook g8 check. That's right. Okay. Got you. And now we're out of the pin. And if
Right.
knight before knight takes a5.
Right.
Okay, so that makes sense. I'm just trying to find.
Well, no. After knight before, you can't play knight takes a5. Because his rook e1's made.
Ah. Oh, right. After that, but I'm saying if knight before now, knight a5.
No, but yeah, rook e8. And then
But rook e8 first.
Oh, no, it's white's
Right.
move. Okay.
White's
I was
move.
about to say.
Knight g8.
Yeah.
Knight before threatening the mate. White. Okay. Boom, boom. Black is so hopeful.
Yeah.
Hope springs eternal. And black transitions into this.
How did he
ending.
lose his?
Wait,
White
wait.
lost a c pawn somehow.
This should be wait, go back right here.
Yeah.
Let's play rook a6 here.
Rook a6 and then
Yeah.
taking 3 connected
Yes.
passed pawns.
We got many connected pass pawns.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Why didn't he play rook a6?
Okay.
He
No,
doesn't-
even actually rook c8 is maybe the easiest.
And then c6,
C6,
c7, and then bring the king up.
Or b4.
Or b4,
Yeah, b4 and
even
then
stronger.
bring the-
Yeah.
I mean, many ways to easily
Yeah.
do
Right,
this.
right. I agree. Except for probably the way he chose.
What?
Making it harder.
Yeah, this is chess in the fast lane.
This looks like
This
a
is-
draw.
Could be a draw now.
And then somehow black lost it. What?
I don't understand
Yeah,
it.
There's no way he actually played f5.
Everyone's getting really tired here, I guess.
Why play f5 when you can just play rook e7 check and rook back to a7 if you? It doesn't make any sense.
Rook e7, then rook e. If you don't play king d3 or king f3, I could even play rook e2.
Right.
Actually, here, yeah, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
f5 is crazy.
Yeah. F5 is.
He must
not-
have thought that you couldn't take because of rook e7, then you realize here there's rook e4.
Oh, yeah.
They're both getting.
You're probably right.
And now
so
here
now
I expect
White's probably winning this.
Oh,
White
ouch.
to win this unless somehow something happens.
We've seen some.
We've seen some pretty bad rook and pawn at play here. So.
Yeah, well, the endgames are difficult for people that are not master chess players. I've noticed. That's one of the reasons why people have difficulty breaking into the master because they don't understand the endgames and lots of
Yeah.
mistakes and
That
tons
is
of
very
elementary
true.
mistakes are made. I mean, that's if you want to become a chess master, work on your endgame. I mean, for sure. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
I probably should start heading out.
Okay, this brilliant endgame.
Yeah,
And
I have
work
to
on
wait-
your 2-move tactics.
I have to wait for Abel.
Well, I mean, I think. Oh wait, there was a knight on c6.
Yes, there was a knight
So
on
black was
C6.
better here.
Well, that's a good
Maybe,
question. It was not easy. I don't think black's better. I think
Yeah.
I
it's-
think White is not in any danger, right?
Black could play knight f6.
I mean, black's
or,
up a pawn, so
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
And
Like,
black
Black
could
is
play
a
knight
pawn up.
f6 or knight b8.
Yeah.
Maybe knight b8 is the only truly. Even that's not a serious. White
that
could
is
play
so
bishop
tragic.
b6
Like you play f5, you're like,
Really?
this is such a typical.
combination.
Like
yeah.
if you go on tactics trainer, this is the first thing that you see.
We were
rotate.
talking about that actually, and not to rub it into Sos, but what's wrong with you?
We're rubbing it in.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Hosea.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. All right,
Yeah,
very
nice to
good.
meet you.
Nice meeting you.
That was Hosea. We'll take a very quick break before we go on to look at the
All right.
next games. Thanks, Hosea. All right, back in 5 or 4 or 3.
3.
Back here with Kyron Griffith and Michael Walzer, whose game just finished. They're going to help me understand what was going on in this opening. Queen e2, e5, queen e2, okay, interesting idea.
Yeah. I mean, the d5, d4 is the most like principled response. To yeah, the way that
E4 and then
yeah,
knight
E5,
F5, and
E5.
knight f5, d5. This is all like kind of the
It is principled.
principled way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess there's been a lot of games since I looked at this last. When I looked at it last, knight b1 was considered the only move. Then queen a5 was considered strong against it. So castles, I'm on my own.
Okay, you're on your own. What should black do here?
I
Because
think
what
knight
black
c6
did.
is the only move that is played here.
All right, knight c6.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny is I spent a lot of time looking at queen a5 and b5, b5 to keep the queen off of c4, and then to continue the way that I
So what
continued.
happens if knight c6, queen c4, bishop e6? I guess. And then knight e5? No.
Wait a second.
No, I think knight c6, queen f3 is the main line. Yeah, queen c4 doesn't work.
This is theory I know nothing about.
I mean, it's like a
completely know nothing.
kind of a garbage sideline for white, but
But
So after castles, you're out of book.
yeah, yes. So
Okay.
so
yeah, queen f5 I knew was wrong, but I didn't find the right. I mean, I saw
You
queen.
started off correctly.
Yeah, that's
with
definitely
this.
correct.
But now apparently
'Cause-
queen h5 is the move.
Yeah, according to Josiah, it's just
Yeah,
crushing
okay,
apparently.
so
that's what we were.
give me a second here.
Told.
So I can't take the knight,
No, you do.
Is
Then bishop
BC4.
c4.
Bishop c4, threatening queen f7 mate.
right?
And if you play, you can't play bishop e6.
So if I play queen back to queen back to
you
c7.
get bishop f7 check. Queen f7, rook d8 check, and your king's not going to be able to survive.
I mean, you
Ah,
get
okay.
two pieces and a rook for the queen.
No, but
you're-
it's not
But
enough.
Getting
you're in the
destroyed, yeah.
crossfire.
Yeah, I mean, you have to hope knight d7 saves everything, but after rook d1, probably
And
not.
maybe it will. You'll go back home and
Okay.
find that it does save it.
Well, so then the other question is, do I have anything else other than,
I mean,
so on queen h5, what about just bishop e6?
Why are you trying to defend this?
Yeah, reasonable.
See your position.
Yeah, why not bishop e6, folks back home?
Um,
Is there some move like queen h4 or something?
Oh, wait, were the people on the chat saying that queen h5 is winning?
Yeah,
No,
there
no,
was
Josiah's-
Balaji, who's some kid,
Oh,
young,
yeah.
Queen
some
h5.
master that.
He plays this line, so he probably knows.
So what's wrong with bishop
Queen
e6,
h5, bishop
Balaji?
e6.
Balaji went to bed.
Yeah.
He did. It was-
Oh, d4 is hanging. Or, yeah, just take knight d4. Free pawn. That's the trick.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the trick.
Good point.
Queen
Actually,
h5,
rook
bishop
d4 is-
e6, knight d4.
Rook d4 is possible as well, but probably
Right.
knight d4.
Aha.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very
Yeah,
sweet
pretty
little,
nasty.
yeah.
I didn't see that at all. I just played queen c4.
Okay, right.
I think the funny thing is I knew that that queen a5 was wrong, so if queen c4 didn't work, I probably would have found this because I knew that white was better, but I didn't know why.
Let me just take one more look at that. So the only other possibility would be queen c7 after queen
Queen
h5.
h5, queen c7, knight d5 though is just
Yeah.
horrible.
Or bishop C4.
Knight g5 is a pretty nice move.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, then, so this was, This
Queen
was-
C6. Fight.
Okay,
It's a
folks,
tempting
for,
move.
all right, let's look at it,
Yeah, I mean
okay.
queen c4 works and
All right.
gives me a pretty solid position. So
Queen h5, Elliot wants to
Oh,
know,
queen
queen
C7.
c7, knight d5, queen c6.
Elliot wants to know what?
It looks like queen h4, well,
Actually, bishop C4 might even work.
yeah, bishop c4 there. Queen c4, knight b6.
queen a2. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, knight f6.
All right, we don't like black's position. He's just moving his queen back and forth, and back
Yeah.
yeah,
and forth.
okay.
All right.
So where's the mate position?
Okay, so queen c4 was played.
I still think white's better.
Bishop e6.
Yeah, knight d5. Josiah was saying take on f5, interestingly.
Right.
Or
but
maybe
the
immediately
move
with the
before,
instead
yeah.
of bishop b6,
Here.
which is
Bishop
interesting.
f5
Also interesting, but I think
and knight c6. But I think white's got even stronger domination
Yeah,
over
the
central
knight
dark
d5
white
is very strong.
squares.
Yeah,
Yeah.
After that, I wouldn't play that,
no, I thought what I played. gave me
especially
better
since you can
chances.
take it at some point. Yeah, no, this
Yeah.
looks like the right way for black to play.
feel like white's dominating here, but just
Well, the knight on f5 is awfully nice.
queen c5. Knight d7 is also interesting instead of queen c5.
We were looking at that too.
Yeah.
That's what I spent some time on that. What I didn't.
I think I was going to play d6
What,
maybe.
what
Might have
didn't
just
you like?
immediately.
D6?
I'm not really sure. I was thinking about that though.
After knight d7.
Well,
Let's look at one more
what
thing
happens
here.
if you just check?
Yeah.
C8.
No, knight d7.
No.
We're looking at knight d7 here for black.
Oh, yeah.
No. It's a little risky. I mean,
Well,
The thing is, knight b6 isn't a threat because I have queen c7. Well, maybe.
yeah.
Actually, maybe not. I don't know. It's very
It's
very
risky
messy.
for black. Black needs to try to catch up in development in some way. So this is another point where, what if black had insisted and played queen
I
b4
was
here?
going to go like queen h3, queen f3, something like that.
Right. Bring the queen over to
Yeah.
that side of the board. Okay,
Probably queen f3.
all right.
Target
This was, a4 was a risky move, we thought. Bishop e2.
Feel that risky?
This
I
would be
mean,
an interesting
yeah, it's
position
not that
if black
risky.
were up a piece.
b5 is interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, black's just going to play knight d7, knight b6, knight c4 if I don't,
okay.
if I'm not careful.
And,
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Yeah, knight d7 is a good move.
yep,
Oh yeah, this is where it's the first select.
Mhm.
And suddenly,
I have a feeling we're missing something here,
Rook
though.
b8.
Yeah, if takes, of course, the check is nothing on
Oh, yeah, it's just
a1, I
free pawn.
guess. So rook b8, bishop e2 takes.
Rook, yeah, this was a blunder. This is a lazy move. I think I lost all my advantage after rook e1.
All right, so what should white do? F4?
No, because f4 doesn't really do that much.
The other thing I thought about before taking the pawn
D6?
was playing h5.
Yeah, h5 is
Or not
possible.
the usual
nip
idea.
pawn.
I mean, it keeps
yeah.
my bishop out, but also your rook is tied to it forever.
But for some reason, I thought your bishop was going to be offsides on the king side, so I was kind of
Kind of was later.
inviting, yeah.
I guess the question is, do I play d6 now instead? It is bishop d6. I think I just go bishop d5 maybe.
Say that again?
I
If
think
bishop
like
d6, bishop b5, and then you can play queen takes b5 and fork everything.
Yeah, d6, bishop d6, bishop b5 is another interesting idea. But then maybe like king d8, and it's pretty messy. Then I have to take d6.
Oh, what if I just castle?
Uh,
D6, bishop d6.
Bishop
oh
b5.
no, queen g3, you get mated.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think rook e1 is a bad move though. Because
That was
queen
the-
before is in black
Was
is
that the FIDE or the USCF ruling? 'Cause I
really
remember-
coming in on the
what
dark
would you
squares.
have played besides rook
If I
e1?
do it again, I lose.
I was saying maybe
d6.
d6.
We were just looking
Oh.
at d6.
Yeah. I guess go like bishop somewhere, like h5. Well, no, bishop h5, bishop d6 doesn't really help me.
Yeah.
I also I can sack
So
d6 and then play
maybe
bishop
black
h5.
should play bishop d6 here.
No, queen b4 is a great move. I
Okay.
think I don't think I have an advantage after queen b4.
And then following it up like that.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
that the right follow? Is that the
We're
right
also
move?
looking at knight b6.
Knight b6 was the other
But
thing
I
I
think
considered.
I don't think it works. Knight b6, queen a6, and then there's
Okay,
like
then and rook a8,
then bishop b5 check,
bishop b5 check.
and then the queen takes
Or
knight
queen
check.
b5 check.
No, bishop b5 is I take the knight with check.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Why is it not
Absolutely.
just- What, you're playing a knight b6, queen a6?
Yep.
Not a7.
Queen a6. Yeah, I want to hit b5.
But what if you take some b5? I'm missing something. Oh, queen c6.
Queen
check.
c6 wins the knight. Yeah.
So black's in trouble. But actually,
Yeah, I think knight b6, queen a6, knight a4 is also super interesting because it's hard for me to defend with b2. But I have queen c6, king d8, queen f6, king c8.
okay.
I have at least a draw there, so I felt okay. Maybe I can get away
King
with
e8 is possible for
like
black
king
too.
e8, no, queen e5 check, and then I take d4.
Oh yeah.
I get everything.
I see.
So
I
queen
So
see.
you have to go
e4.
king c8, then maybe bishop g4, and I can run. That's what I was kind of banking on.
Wow, this is going to be fun to analyze at home.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right,
Queen-
queen
queen A4 is
a4
probably right.
takes d6.
Yeah, d6 is the only move.
Right.
Rook b6 makes sense.
And now I thought about, I also thought about h5.
Oh, instead of rook b6.
Yeah,
I
playing,
think you have. Yeah, I don't think you can give me that tempo.
I think you're right.
I
But
think I could play like bishop f3.
that's what I
to c6
concluded
or
at the
something.
time.
Yeah.
Probably true.
Yeah,
The
so
Good try.
resource.
I didn't
Good
like
try.
A3, but Hosea liked it, so,
So,
maybe I'm wrong.
but Hosea only looked at it for a second. How
It's
does
all-
Black
I
survive
guess it's
this?
just know their move.
How does Black survive
I thought like
this?
King D8, which looks stupid, but might be the only move. Because you can't let me get D4. I think.
Yeah, but I don't want you to take on F7 and come back and I have no attack
Yeah.
anymore.
Well, King D8, Bishop F7, Bishop D6 is kind of what I was looking at. King D8, I might actually play C3 instead and just try to blow it open.
Can I ask a silly question? So what happens if Black plays H5
Maybe
here?
Bishop F3,
Then Rook B6?
then I take D4, Rook D4, and I'm winning.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so
Or what about just Bishop to C4?
What about
too?
King
Yeah, Bishop
D8.
C4 also.
What-
Then Bishop C6.
oh, I see. Then Bishop takes F7.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe H5, Bishop C4 is better.
H5 Bishop C4 switching.
Yeah.
Switching
And you can't.
over.
You actually lose a pawn, I think.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I think Rook B6 is the only move.
Okay. All right.
Maybe, but I think King D8 is the best try here, actually. Well, actually, A3 wasn't that bad. A3 actually got you
Yeah.
more than
A3
I
was-
expected.
This is what happened.
I thought I was winning here.
Well, the only thing we thought is that Michael put up a heroic defense
Yeah,
with this
this,
Rook
this,
G8
this
with
was a good idea,
G5.
actually.
Still haven't got rid of the.
It's actually, I have to be really careful here.
Yes.
Like, yeah, because like I was thinking Rook D1, King E7, Bishop F7, but then Knight C5, and he gets a ton of counterplay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we looked at sacking
Yeah.
exchange and
Yeah.
taking on F7,
Nah,
but that's
yeah.
not going to be
No, I'm
good.
not gonna win that.
Right.
Rook C4, I think is good. You could try Rook A6 here, threatening Knight B6, and also Rook A1 ideas.
Nice.
Yeah, I really.
I might play like Rook B5. I have to be. And then yeah, this was also. I had to be really careful.
We think you missed a quick win.
Where?
Coming up right here. Here.
Rook B2.
Rook A7.
King D8.
And then Bishop F7 with the idea of Bishop E6. I mean, he's helping this.
I don't-
Just Black can't do
I don't think it's that
anything.
helpful. I think he plays Knight B5, and I'm in trouble.
I got all sorts of tricks.
Sorry.
Oh, the knight
Like
goes back to
Rook
B5.
Rook
Oh, no,
A7.
it was after you took on F5. That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Okay, Rook C3.
Oh yeah.
Now
maybe
here.
maybe this was.
Rook A7, King
kinda saw
E6,
this
Bishop
idea.
takes F7, mate.
No, okay, King D8, obviously.
And now Bishop F7, I think.
Uh,
You can always come back and take on B2.
Well,
Maybe
then I was
Bishop
going to play
E3.
back knight to D4.
yeah,
Rook
maybe
A7, King D8.
maybe Bishop B3 saves me.
Well, then I have knight B5, right?
Then my rook can move, and I can take B2. Oh no, you're forking my rooks. No, I have Rook A8 check, then I'm Rook H3 or something,
Do I have knight A3 check?
and King B2.
Oh, wait a second, I
Yeah.
lost.
The bishop hanging there.
I think Rook A7 check, Bishop F7, and with the idea I'm going to go Bishop B3. That's probably cleaner than what happened.
Well, actually, this was pretty clean.
I don't know.
Was there a chance for
I kinda felt like
not
Black
to
was-
exchange rooks? Maybe play Rook A7.
No, I
Rook
think-
E7.
It couldn't have
No,
been comfortable to
yeah.
play.
No, both those works working together, I thought was murder. So I thought this was the best shot.
Yeah. Oh, I should have played Rook. No. No,
Very straightforward play by White. I mean, if Black has nothing.
I don't know. I didn't feel like I don't think I would win this against like some people. I think
Well,
just
what
F5.
about the H7 pawn?
H5 is probably better. Well, yeah, but he has to be careful about my.
I think F5 here. Then you go gobble F4, like F5,
Bishop
knight,
E2.
knight somewhere. Like
F5 bishop E2.
yeah. For some reason, I felt like
Actually, yeah, then I don't have knight C4 anymore. Yeah,
should we think? Oh, you also, here
Oh,
no
that's a
here
little
you
trick.
should have gone knight C4 check. I think
Oops.
knight C4 check, king C3, knight E3,
Attacking the bishop.
and then knight D5 check is coming, and I lose F4.
Oh, that's a better way of doing it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I missed that.
I did too.
Wait a minute.
Knight C4.
Knight C4
And the
check
problem
right
is
away.
king C1, bishop E3 check, so I can't even do that.
What about king B3? I'm just fishing
No.
around here.
Well, yeah, that might actually be
King C3
knight E3.
and bishop somewhere.
Knight
Knight D5 check.
But the king c4 attacks to
Take f4.
oh, take f4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like
It feels like
I mean, white has an outside chance.
Yeah, then
with the outside
play
H
bishop
pawn.
f2 and run the e pawn.
why does it more than outside chance? Or is it this number?
All right, let's see. Bishop e3,
I think this helped me a little bit.
f5, h6. Well, I can understand being scared to give up that h pawn.
Well,
Yeah, makes
it was
sense.
finally,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not throwing. No reason to give it up for free.
This is most consistent.
But now I think I'm surviving, or now I think I'm winning.
Because
Yeah, because
Of
now I
h4.
get the e3 pawn, and this should be fairly doable. Although I think knight takes bishop made it really easy for me. I think you should just keep pieces on.
yeah.
keep that tricky knight on the board.
And it covers f7, which is important.
I totally,
Yeah, maybe
taking
this
there
was
is-
your last chance to
pretty
really make it difficult for.
You should just play like a king d6 or whatever, just king c5,
Yeah.
and like ask me how I'm gonna.
that is a pretty bad bishop, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean I'll play bishop h5.
And
bishop
also it
e2.
defends around. Yeah, knight g4 looks like you were
Yeah.
still
That might
hanging
have
in
been-
there.
I
was-
chances.
I was like down to a minute and a half. I
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
That bishop is not doing anything for white, really.
You're right.
Well, I mean, it.
Well,
puts
eventually it'll win the
Yeah.
f pawn and
Right.
then come into the game, and then it's a
Yeah, it's
a lot of
probably
bishop.
winning.
It's
for
probably winning
Yeah.
for white, but it's still some chances. Okay, boom, and
And
this is a
just-
tech. This is
yeah.
obviously a one in probably a bunch of ways. Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations, both of you, for
Yeah, that
playing
was quite
such a long,
exciting game too.
exciting
Yeah, it was
game.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, white's winning. No, black's winning. Oh no.
We're going to have a quick recap of the last of the games and then say goodnight for everybody.
Cool. Yeah.
Thanks for
Nice.
coming in.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
you guys play
you
some
bet.
fighting chess.
Nice to see you again.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Okay.
What do we have here? Oh, they're all gone.
Ethan Boldy got checkmated by Elliot Winslow later. Let's see. how-
Elliot? Nah, that was obvious.
And
Yeah.
the breakthrough was
Exchange that.
was the exchange sack as we predicted. Rook Queen c4. Black played Rook b6. Queen c2. And tested him again with this stuff.
Keep going backwards.
I'm going backwards.
We don't know why.
Okay. So, Rook g4, fg4, Queen f4, and that was
Yeah, they get out of the tries, like Rook H1.
Yeah, Rook H1 is
I
the
don't
only
believe
one.
it, but he has it.
okay.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah.
All right. The
But I
bla-
can't play Rook B8 because it was a Rook, so you can maybe keep the Rook out of it. If the Rook gets in there, it's bad.
but now you're taking his Rook with check.
But now this was I was surprised, I wondered if he could play King F2 after all. I was thinking Bishop G3 check, I'm gonna play Bishop E1 discovery check, but actually, I can play, if King F1, oh yeah, that's a mate. I'm
Wait a
sorry.
minute,
Queen
wait a
F3
minute.
is mate, I'm sorry. This is-
All right, now you're up a
No, it's
bishop.
over, it's over. Not even funny.
Okay. Nice game, Elliot. Although I thought it was one of the more boring games for quite a while
Yeah.
there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We thought you should both resign out
Yeah.
of boredom.
Yeah, we actually were encouraging both players to resign.
How did you haven't looked at any of our Fearless Leaders games lately?
All right, let's take a look at this game, Roy versus Gaffigan. There was a little controversy
What was it all
about this game. I'm not sure,
She asked him a question and he objected to being asked the question in time.
which is probably
Yes, he's-
fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened here. White's,
I wonder what the question was.
it was how many moves are left.
Yeah.
It's true, you cannot,
There's no how many moves. are left.
exactly.
No, she asked
Which was
wh-
Gaffigan's point.
What was, what move are we on or something like that.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant.
And it is irrelevant, and that was his
Why
point.
did he take with the F pawn? Good God. Somebody wanted him to say mated. And he did. Congratulations. That's that. Oh, it didn't. It goes on. Sort of.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure that white should win this position.
Well, this one maybe not, but if you take it with the H1, I thought, the game was, I don't think it's really worse. There are an awful lot of ones that they're not stupid.
Yeah.
This way you lost, make sure.
I'm getting some commentary from Elliot Winslow over there, which nobody can hear, but now white's winning for sure with the outside pass pawn, and this game.
You just blockade and it's over. Yeah.
This is no problem at all. Okay.
He's got to be steamed.
And another 12-year-old beat woman international master Natalia Sotokova. Ouch. What about rook h5 check? Am I missing something here? We're at the end of the game here of Natalia's game.
That was a great idea.
Rook f5, king
Rook
h6.
h5.
Rook h5 check is a draw on the board. Oh, this is a terrible missed opportunity.
Oh my goodness.
For black. And black resigned after obviously 97 check is coming up.
Are you going to tell her?
No. Her husband will tell her. Because she's an international master. This is a draw here, I think, with, maybe not, if king g4.
Yeah.
Rook g5 check, king f4, rook f5 check. Well, wait a minute. King g4, rook g5 check, king f4. What about rook g4 check?
Well,
all right.
Then you play
g4, rook g5 check, king f4, rook g5 check, king f5, rook g5 check, king f6, rook f5 check. I'm not sure this is not one of those automatic draws.
No, you're right.
Oh my gosh, if this is actually what happened, this is a disaster for Natalia.
H4 is a mistake.
H4 is a bad blunder. Rook f5 check, and the game should be a draw.
Oh my goodness.
Lord. Okay.
What a tragedy.
We saw the ends of all of the rest of these games.
All right.
This game, except for this game. This game actually ended in a draw with white forming some kind of fortress here. I'm not sure it should be a draw. But the players agreed to a draw, for which we're thankful.
Yes. Well,
so this game ended
that
in
looks
a draw.
like a
it could be a draw.
That could be a draw. Yeah, that's a fortress.
Queen f2, with the idea of king d2. I don't know. I'm hopeful that got to watch this. It doesn't hang too. All right, so this game ended in a draw, which was kind of maybe a prosaic and considering that there were some mistakes. This game we've seen. All the games are over, folks. There was some controversy on board 5. I'm not sure what happened, but thanks for joining us. Rounds
2 is in the books.
Is over. It's in the books. From the Mechanics Institute Chess Club, I'm Paul Whitehead, joined here by FIDE Master James Eade, author of Chess For Dummies.
Always the plug. Thank you.
And the Eade Foundation.
EadeFoundation.org.
Look them up. Support chess worldwide.
We're trying to do that.
Okay. Good night, everybody. I'm a little worn out.
We are always beat at the end of this.
Thank you, Michael Pace.
We start making less and less sense.
We start making less and less sense. I'm a little punch drunk. I can barely see straight, so I'm going to put my glasses on and wish you all a good night.